Wake up, gamer, because you're listening to the Big Thing to Mention with Dan and Bob Video Games. Parabitty Buddy.
Too much Parabitty Buddy.
Chris Wolfart.
Turn it off and turn it back on. Maybe some games will come out.
And Dr. Aggro.
Intro phrase.
Here on GigaBoots.
There wasn't a single Square Enix game with that, yeah.
Wait, what?
Ha! Yeah. Ha!
Actually, that's wrong, Bob. There was.
Oh, right, there's that published one. What was that? All I remember is the Square Enix logo.
Notes.
How's it going? Welcome to Big Thing to Mention number 326, the one we're doing right after Summer Game Fest, Day of the Devs, and whatever ball pit thing you would describe that as, because I think Aggro nailed it with too long to be a trailer, too short to be a conference, too hot to handle, too cold to hold. Somehow both. Fuck all that shit, though. We're talking about the Switch, too.
Oh, we're just leading with that?
Yeah,
Sure.
well, we have a news segment.
Yes.
I don't want to talk about the summer game events.
And I played other games other than the Switch 2 stuff. I'm excited to talk about that.
Last Friday, we did our Quantum birthday, where it was a Friday in between two of our birthdays, and people could flop and swap between whose birthday it was, so we got to play what game we wanted. It was pretty good. I beat Gimmick True Ending on an N64 controller.
Yeah, for some reason.
Because I wanted to trick even Bob, because Chris shot me last Big Thing and was like, oh, Dad gets to play his favorite game? Is that Mario 64? And I'm like, no, it isn't. Gimmick's a pretty good game. Did you know Gimmick's a pretty good game? It's a pretty good game. It's a pretty good game. Bob, how was Shinobi on PS2?
Shinobi on PS2 is really good, except for the final boss.
Fact. The darkest of facts.
Yes.
But yeah, that was a really great time. Thank you, everyone who came out and supported us. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out while we played some great video games. The Switch 2 happened. Hey, for the launch of PS5 and Xbox, we did these streams where we would check out the new games a little, and then we would check out all the old games to see how they ran. For some reason, the Switch 2 version of that second stream was really not as exciting. I don't know why. I think it's because Digital Foundry's influence / everyone using commonly made, licensable engines like Unreal Engine and Unity has made so many people frame cap games at 30.
Yeah, that's part of it for sure.
There was a huge amount of games we just went, there's no point in booting that.
Yeah.
We know. We already know. It won't help. It's not going to go above 30. It'll just be locked at 30, and maybe the resolution will be higher. But man, the things that were exciting were really exciting. Like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is transformative.
Yeah, that's a free pack.
Yeah, that's a fucking video game now. That isn't on the N64.
And dying. That looked incredible. God, I wish that's how that game ran when it came out.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it really is like that moment of, now, this is it. Make another one like this fidelity. Don't go crazy.
Please. I'm perfectly fine with your Oblivion repeating textures.
Yes.
I don't give one shit.
I presume that Gen 10 will probably be cross-gen. And boy, the Switch 1 version of that will make the living envy the dead.
Yes.
Yeah, almost definitely.
But yeah, it'd be really cool to see, hey, maybe we just add more internal environments to open world.
Add your structured level dungeon. Like the end of
Scarlet how about the actual gyms come back?
Yeah.
Or how about I have any reason to battle any trainer at all?
So yeah, no, that would be really exciting. I'm really looking forward to playing through Scarlet and Violet on Pokemon Days again.
Yeah, we definitely, there was a point where we were like, let's Switch 2's coming. Let's just push it to that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Speaking of Switch 2's coming, let's just push it to that. We played Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Looks great. We played Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom because we upgraded a Nintendo Switch Online because I wanted to try the GameCube games that came with the NSO stuff. Because why else would I have bought the wireless GameCube controller? There's no cable. Oh my god.
Wow.
It's fine. The stick and buttons don't feel like they do on a GameCube controller.
They're incorrect.
It's completely shaped correctly. This is the most fucked up thing. Looking at it, you would assume it will feel exactly like a GameCube controller. However, no, it moves and pushes wrong. It's just wrong. I don't have any other way to describe it. Is the D-pad better? The D-pad actually does feel better. That's the weird part. It actually clicks in a way.
Mess with the D-pad.
I did, because that's the worst part of the GameCube controller, so that's like notorious. But here you go. It's still tiny, of course.
Yeah, no, it's like this is when the Nintendo kind of lost their way with D-pads, and I feel like it's taken them. They haven't recovered.
Yeah, well,
maybe now with the Switch 2 Pro controller.
Yeah, that thing seems pretty decent. I saw a person on Blue Sky being real hypey, saying it's like the best D-pad ever, and I'm like, that's simply not fucking possible. The Vita exists,
right?
You rube. But no, that D-pad on the Switch Pro 2 controller does seem good. I need to play Tetris 99 and Puyo Puyo Tetris to confirm. Yeah, everything, like the analog, the shoulder buttons that's probably the most similar thing. Mm-hmm. Even it's different feeling though, and it's not in a bad way. Like, it doesn't feel wrong bad. It feels wrong different.
Right.
You look at this and you see a GameCube controller, and then you push the buttons and the stick and stuff, and it's just... That's not ever how those felt, even completely fresh. I swear to God.
And it's weird because with the GameCube controllers, we've had newer releases of them that felt identical for years. Like the ones they did for Smash.
Every time Nintendo has spun them up, I've bought them.
Yeah.
GameCube, Smash first time, Smash second time. The second time with Smash, it has the Smash logo on it.
Mm-hmm.
All of those felt the same. This does not feel like those. That's crazy. Really interested in why that is, and I would love to see a teardown. Someone has to do a teardown at some point. But yeah, no, so it seems to have capped out performance on any game as high as those games can go, but so many of them 30 frames per second capped. Mortal Kombat 1 clearly loads and runs much sharper, but it's still a melty, gooey nightmare of a game that never should have existed.
Right?
Ever. What other back compat games do you want to...
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any others that were really that meaningful.
Because, yeah, a lot of the PS4 library just ran completely uncapped. Except for the geniuses. Yeah. Well, I mean, even occasionally Digital Foundry will even ruin that, because look at The Last Guardian, where they did that whole video where it's like, you should really frame cap this. Then they did. And I'm like, oh, cool, great. I would have loved to have played this at 60 frames per second, but now I need to have a disc to do that.
They did the same thing with the Batman Arkham games.
Yep. So
that's cool.
Yep. Don't frame cap your games at 30 unless it's a toggleable option, because the future consoles will run it better. Jesus Christ.
Don't do it at all. Fuck John Lenneman.
I think John on a podcast in the last year even pointed out the exact thing I'm saying. The point I've been making for years of they really need to stop saying that. And I think it was Richard who was like, well, the fluidity is really important, so they really should. And it's like, nope. Sorry, between the two, I would rather deal with an unstable kind of fluctuating frame rate now of like 40s or whatever, than it will never run better.
Hey, guess what?
What?
We'll have hardware that can run it at 60 for a lot longer than we can have hardware that can't.
I know.
Yeah, no, it's that weird thing that comes from them being the PC mindset sort of people that don't understand. No, this game is locked down. It's on a console. It's not getting like community support.
Right.
And the devs ain't ever coming back.
And apparently Sony will unmake your Bloodborne patch that fixes it.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. So I don't know. I felt like there was less excitement for the back and pat stuff, because the PS4 and Xbox stuff, it was like anything can happen at any point. For example, Mighty Number 9 still making it cripplingly fall to its knees and crash my capture card.
Right.
Yeah, that's really funny.
It was fucking hilarious.
We don't get this weird of niche stuff. Like, we didn't have Senran Kagura show in and be like, oh, the lighting doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, we tried a bunch of different games and none of them had any issues.
Mm-hmm.
Which also, you know, we had issues on the PS4 to 5 jump. Really weird.
I am hoping that Nintendo is just doing that thing they do where they can't give you too much at once. You can't have too much excitement at once, little boy. You gotta you'll get all keyed up and won't be able to sleep. So we're gonna roll out these upgrade patches a couple every month for a year.
Yeah, and it feels like that's kind of what they're doing just with the this Kirby DLC exists. It's $20 and it's months from now.
Yeah,
that is 2 months out.
It's 2 months
Yeah,
from now.
2
Like, what
months
the
out.
fuck?
Yeah, right. It's
I
like,
don't believe it isn't done right now.
Oh,
You're just
absolutely.
weird.
They just want to have something they say that released in August, and it's like, then they're pretending that you should buy an $80 Kirby game. It's like, no, you shouldn't.
First off, an $80 Kirby game isn't.
That's been out 2 years.
Yeah,
Secondly, that of like, no, bro, you sticking DLC on this does not transform a 2-year-old $60 game into an $80 game.
it's in fact a 2-year-old game. It should be $60.
As right,
At most.
it should be $60 and have the new DLC.
And then you get to call it Game of the Year edition or something.
and everyone
Like,
would be
this
fine
is-
with
this
it.
is established.
I mean, that's what you did with Street Fighter 6.
Exactly.
And that's only 1 year old.
This is an established paradigm. It's 2 years.
2.
So it's the same deal.
God damn, dude, that's fucking nuts. Even Capcom gets it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. As if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong on this, people feel free to look this up. I think that $80 edition that comes with the DLC, if you buy it from a store, it is on the cart. Whereas Street Fighter 6 was not, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, you made the Catch-22 Nightmare console fiscally. I'm sorry, you need to start charging different prices for digital and physical, baby. Why did you get rid of the voucher system?
They'll never. I hope they bring the voucher system back. I'm willing to bet that maybe, like, yes, they overproduced this console, but there shouldn't be 6 Switch 2s at Walmart the day after it launched.
Yeah, that's worrying.
I'm curious what
So-
the sales will come in like. I need to know.
I just 80. You're
this-
gonna kill so many games of yours that would have otherwise been successful if you do this.
Yeah, I would have picked up a new Room Factory if it wasn't $70
Yeah,
because
same.
of that cartridge.
Easily, 100%.
Yeah, like they need to bring back the voucher system because you can't. Nintendo is like the one company that would really suffer from losing retail presence, like extremely.
Mm-hmm.
So they're never going to charge less for digital versions because fucking retailers will throw a fit.
Yeah, they could just eat the cost on the cartridge because they made them too expensive. But of course, they won't do that because that eats into their profit margin.
Just bring the voucher system back. You can just bring it back. I'm stupid. I'll buy more games than I intend to if you bring the voucher system back.
It's true.
I considered buying a voucher earlier today because I wanted to get the Hyrule Warriors, and that's still not any cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to get Pokemon Z to A because then I can buy a $10 upgrade for it.
Yeah.
And that's still technically a better deal, which is a nightmare.
Everything is so stupid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to back up Sebmel here doing the Predator handshake as we, 2 morons who should love Welcome Tour, are here to tell you Welcome Tour is dog shit even if it was free. And it is $10. For people who don't know, this is their incredibly cynical, half-baked fucking Astrobot, where they're like, you get a tour of the Switch 2 and it's amazing features. It's the cheapest looking shit you've ever seen. We put in an incredibly laborious system where you have to wander around the entire thing you're standing on to find pop-up stands to then click it to get a stamp so that way you get enough stamps to go on to the next area.
Yeah, you have to do
it's
it.
bad.
They lock it off. You have to do it in the order they want, and you have to 100% it as you go, basically, which is crazy.
Which is crazy. As someone who would willingly 100% it, it feels insane to be like 100% or you go nowhere. It's like worse than Sunshine in that regard of like, no, you're doing 7 shines.
It's like, dude, I don't care about the screen. I want to see anything else. No, you don't get to learn about the camera. You must first learn about the magnet.
You must learn about where the magnet is kept in the Joy-Con or the console across 4 incredibly slow transition screens of text.
Yeah,
It's horrible. Fun fact, you can't 100% unless you have the camera.
Oh, right.
Unless you have a camera, to be clear, because you could use a webcam.
That's a nightmare.
That is dog shit is what that is. This should have been free. Oh, I see other people in chat saying oh, that's not true. You can input a code to bypass the camera stuff. What the hell solution is that? What? Why? Why am I putting it as... Holy shit. We added another layer to this. This is fucking insane. Do not buy Welcome Tour.
No.
Switch 2 is pretty nice, though. Screen's fucking big. Kickstand's good. I only own the launch Switch, so...
Yeah, I don't think many people own that OLED that has a good kickstand.
Yeah, the OLED has a good kickstand. I don't know that the OLED is like the frame of reference most people are going with.
Right? There's so many years of Switches being in the public before the OLED existed. I doubt it.
Yeah, so kickstand's real good, right? I think Dan's just mad he was bad at that one Find the Rumble minigame. What are you talking about? I fucking aced the second tier of that and the double cannoned, you assholes. What are you...
Yeah, no, that was clearly when Dan was having the most fun with that game. The game has the audacity to have stuff like that. That's just a simple test of finding where the rumble is.
Oh, and the worst part is the intensity does not increase on a completely linear scale to the center point. There are bands.
Yes.
Okay, let me explain this to anyone who doesn't know how this works. Imagine a line, okay? Left to right. You can move it horizontally left to right. There are notches at the bottom to do centimeters. You need to move the mouse functionality of the Joy-Con on a thing, left to right, and trying to find the part where it vibrates the hardest. But it doesn't vibrate constantly. It pulses. It goes like voom, 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 voom. And there's enough of a gap and it's pulsing that it makes it pretty fucking hard. And I guarantee you, within a certain amount, like 10 millimeters or whatever, it will just be the same strength, 10 or 20. And then the upgraded version of this is it has an X and Y axis. So then you're moving it across the entire screen space, trying to get within 10 millimeters.
Yeah. But they have stuff like that and call it a game. And then they're like, but we also have demos that aren't games.
No, they're like, but enough fun. Check out this quiz. This was
you have to do the quizzes before it lets you leave.
This was $10.
The quizzes they give you a fact sheet you read through really slowly because it doesn't let you move through it quickly. And then you answer questions based on it. It's very much like Mario is missing.
At least that taught me anything that I give a remote shit about, like history.
That's how you history. This taught you about the Switch too,
and it's taught you shit you probably knew.
Yes,
this or 1-2 Switch. 1-2 Switch. That's a game.
Yeah,
1-2 Switch is a game I brought to my job when the Switch came out, and people thought it was fucking neat. You cannot show this to any living being and get that reaction. How many donuts is that? Well, apparently today's National Donut Day. I know because Bob showed up with a free donut.
Yes.
So as such, infinite donuts because they're free today, baby.
Yeah, you have to hit every donut shop in your area, and you'll get a bunch of donuts. Just one from each, though.
Yeah, one from Krispy Kreme, one from Dunkin', and then you keep going to more and more Krispy Kremes and Dunkins until they're calling each other. You see that fucker in the blue lemon shirt? Take him down. Hit him with your car. I'll help you hide the body. Yeah. Welcome Tour is terrible. Complete counterpoint. Mario Kart World is amazing. That is a fucking incredible Mario Kart. Isn't it $80? No.
Do
you think I could spend $80 on the standard edition of any game and feel okay by the end of it? I'm going to feel sick to my stomach regardless.
Yeah.
But no, it's an amazing fucking game. It was a fantastic fucking game. I love every second I spend with it because when you're doing these races, you get to drive by fast food places, pick up a bag of food, and they transform most of the characters into different outfits of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really cool.
We got Daisy
I hope
and the
that
Daisy
whatever
Dukes.
3D Mario we get next has like this level of cool shit in it.
Also, it's a giant open world thing. You can just drive around and do like mini challenges in order to get stamps.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you get more and more coins, you unlock new vehicle types. And of course, the vehicles have specs, and so do the characters. You can mix and match and stuff. And
sometimes there's weird stuff in a level. Like I drove into the back of a semi truck and then started controlling it and could just run people over with it.
yeah, it was fucking incredible.
Yeah. And the new rail grinding stuff is really neat, and it's obvious there's more going on with it that I haven't even figured out yet.
You can play as the penguin. You can play as the cow. What more do you need?
And most importantly, you can play as the Parabitty Buddy.
Yeah, you could play as Parabitty Buddy in his, I shit you not, Parabitty Buggy. I hate to say it, this is almost definitely top 3 on Game of the Year. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to beat Mario Kart World. This is, let me tell you, if we weren't doing all the summer game events and fucking streams and shit, I would have just disappeared into that game for days straight. Holy shit.
Yeah, the game seems really cool, and I'm excited to play more of it. There's also the not just the regular cups that you go through in a regular Mario Kart. There's also the World Tour or whatever it's called, where it's an elimination challenge and
that's the endurance run.
Yeah,
the World Tour is when you just drive around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, the endurance run is like battle royale style process of elimination. Every time you hit a checkpoint, it cuts 4 people off. And the thing, instead of being your standard 4 courses, it is a completely flowing 5 courses long.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just going through 5 whole fucking tracks. Knockout tour. That's the
okay.
Absolutely nuts. Really incredible experience as just the last 4 people getting knocked out time after time after time after time. This game's really good. This game's stellar.
Every map is just crazy.
Uh-huh.
Like they put so much detail in it, so many different things. They all have a mix of themes that's really interesting. Like the Boo haunted theater where you jump into a movie screen. It's so much just cool stuff happens in this game.
It is true. The game is basically nothing but cool shit nonstop. Here's your Parabitty Bud, by the way.
Which game are they from?
They are in 3D World. I don't think that's the first, though. 3D Land's the first. Okay. There we go.
So
and they're in Mario Maker.
Of course.
Anyway.
There's even Mario Land stuff, which is really neat.
Oh, yeah. God. Yeah, it is fantastic. It feels great to play.
Mm-hmm.
It's got so much delight in it. Just all these things to find in the environments. All these things to... One moment. We'll just put that where aggro's supposed to be. God, the music is incredible. It's nonstop.
Yeah.
It is nonstop. Because it'll seamlessly go between different remixes of different Mario songs, and they're all so amazingly pulled off. It's incredible. However, it is unfortunate they did not have Athletic from Super Mario Bros. 3. That is unfortunate to me. How many tracks are in it? Because there are so many. God. Yeah, I cannot say enough about this game. I'm looking forward to it is in there? Good. I need to find it. Because I know they had Athletic from World.
Right.
They also had a Yoshi's Island song that was really fucking good. Over 200 songs.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, it's nonstop.
It feels like it.
It just keeps going. I guess aside from that and talking about how even in split screen multiplayer, the game looked great.
Mm-hmm,
It's rendering 2 fucking players in this gorgeous environment and it still looks great. Single player looks incredible. Seeing a Nintendo game in HDR is fucking swell. Like that looks awesome. Seeing that good artistic choice and color use and everything just HDR-fied looks amazing. Jesus, I'm so glad they didn't make a Switch 1 Mario Kart from the ground up. Because for people who didn't hear us tell the story the other time, or maybe it was on a Friday stream instead of Big Thing to Mention, they literally were like, we bought time to keep making this game by making that last series of DLCs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, good. Good. I'm glad you fucking pushed off to make this amazing game and didn't like ship your compromised as hell vision on the Switch 1, because they were talking about the difficulty of making it.
Yeah, no, and clearly this is butting up against what a Switch 1 could possibly do.
Yeah,
Like,
there's no way you could do anything like this on a Switch 1. Like a completely seamless high-speed race in any direction on an open world environment. Like, no. Absolutely not. I could spend all day talking about how good this game is. It's just nonstop with great moments. But we have to move on. Bob, did you have anything else you want to say about Mario Kart?
No, that's enough.
That's enough. Fast Fusion, the F-Zero-like, Wipeout-like from the developer of Fast RMX, The Tourist, and The Punch Win. Yo, that game has too much fucking TAA.
Yeah.
It is blurry as hell. Please just have lower fidelity and sharp pixels. Thank you. Very disappointed. I hope they update it with like that DLSS light thing.
I know,
Maybe
right?
that'll help.
Like Street Fighter 6 is obviously a much more impressive looking game and does not look anywhere near its TAA.
And it's weird because Fast RMX was really fucking sharp and impressive for the Switch 1. Like really impressive.
Yeah, and their games usually do like push the graphics and still look really clean. Like the Tourist was 8K.
Yeah, The Tourist is a native 8K game on the PS5, and the dev literally went, if they ever update with the ability to actually output 8K, the game's already running at 8K internally. We could just engage that mode, and seemingly that would work. But then they only did that for the PS5 Pro, and it only works if you have display stream compression technology. So not even all 8K TVs can work with PS5 Pro in 8K mode. So
Cool.
Something tells me they're not going to do that because no one's playing it that way.
Weird.
But yeah, it's really disappointing to see the game look so blurry and melty and TAA'd. I hope they update it to improve it because I like the game. They even added a fucking jump button to this game that's already insanely... It's basically F-Zero if polarity existed. So you're shifting Ikaruga style between the polarities in order to hit boost tracks in order to go faster. You also pick up coins in order to get manual boost for yourself, and you can now jump. So it's a pretty great game. I've been enjoying it. I need to get more time in it, but Jesus Christ, can we please find a way? I think that has a high frame rate mode too. Maybe I should check that out. Maybe that'll help it slightly. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't had time off stream to play Fast Fusion. I only had time off stream to play Mario Kart World because Bob and I needed every gold cup just to see, like, are you going to do a thing? But yeah, I'm going to play more of that, and I'll talk about that later. We tried Game Share.
We sure did.
Game Share is when the Switch could render a unique viewport for a person with a different Switch and either stream it over the internet or stream it locally. I did it for Clubhouse Games.
Uh-huh.
So my Mancala board had me at the bottom, and Bob's Mancala board had him at the bottom. What an amazing use of technology.
Yeah, it was flipped. It's incredible.
So this is the future.
It felt surprisingly decent, surprisingly good for doing that.
Yeah, I was really shocked how incredibly low latency it was locally, especially.
Right, it looked bad. Like that Mancala bar looked like a JPEG.
Right, because it's crusty as hell.
Yeah.
But it looks surprising. It was surprisingly decent. And I always liked the DS feature of the share play.
Yes, it's a cool idea.
So bringing that back is nice. I'm sure there are a lot of games where this could work out pretty well for. Like you could do an Advance Wars like this.
Yes, something like that.
Other things like that.
They also did it with
Fast Fusion. They sure did. They did it with the high-speed F-Zero Wipeout-like racing game with shitloads of particles.
They shouldn't have done that.
I was fucking cackling. We streamed Bob's viewport of me streaming it from my Switch Portable. I'm sure it would have looked so much better if we were both docked.
Yeah. Guys, the screen was soup. I couldn't see anything coming forward in the track at all. It was like there's a gray shape. I better turn.
You're like, I think I'm playing macro block.
Yes.
I think I'm this macro block and I'm supposed to get that macro block. Oh, that's right. Mario 3D World did support it.
We didn't mess with that.
We thought about messing with Bowser's Fury, but we've been live 20 hours this week already, and that wasn't including today, I don't think. We've been live an insane amount of hours already, so we didn't do that. The weird thing here, Bob, is I think we're done.
Yeah, I think that is everything we need to show off from the Switch 2.
Yeah, I think we pretty well covered the Switch 2 launch. I think we're good. Now, obviously, I need to play a shitload of Mario Kart, and I want to play Mario Kart World online with friends, because, oh my god. Aside from that, yeah, I think it's all off stream. Like, we may do a Mario Kart thing just because we know people with Switches. We have friends locally with Switches. Like, it would be cool to do that. Or a friend, I suppose.
Right. It would be... I want to go back and play more Street Fighter 6, but at the same time, I don't want to play any of the Grand Tour mode again, like the World Tour. That was a pain to get through once.
And you don't want to do it again on your Switch 2, which we didn't. We didn't actually spend enough time talking about. Like, that looks really good. That is a completely respectable way to play that game, 100%. Like, genuinely, the Switch 2 version of Street Fighter 6 is completely, what's a good term? A wholly acceptable substitute for, like, the PS5 version. At no point would, I think, a reasonable person look at you playing that and just be like, what dog shit?
Yeah, it doesn't do anything weird like having characters in the background run at half frame rate or anything like that. It looks fine.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know, Masami's pointing out in chat, Cyberpunk 2077 also looked surprisingly really solid. It's like, wow, sure, it's 30, 40 frames per second, but chat funded us buying the digital version of Cyberpunk 2077 because we wanted to see it, right? And we were all just shocked at, like, no, this is like a really reasonable way to play this. Holy shit. That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
The Switch 1 wasn't that.
No, when we got like Witcher 3 and stuff, it's like, I could see someone accepting this. But it wasn't like, okay.
Yeah, this is the difference between, like, oh, I have Jurassic Park on 4K Blu-ray versus I have Jurassic Park on Blu-ray, not I have Jurassic Park on 4K Blu-ray and I can play the theme poorly on a kazoo.
Yes.
Like,
I got this VHS. It's been duplicated a few times,
and I've watched it a lot, so it's got some issues, but it's good enough. I think
the part where the guy gets eaten on the toilet, I'll admit that part is completely gone. I've watched it too many times.
I've watched it too many times. It's the funniest shit in the world. I honestly am going to say that with the Switch 2 being this powerful and the way things are going with hardware and the way things are going with the industry, that alone, seeing Cyberpunk and Street Fighter 6 look fine on it, has me going, yeah, this is it. This was the missing piece we needed. We're parking games here, damn it.
Right?
Your game, listen to me. Listen. Your game does not need to look better than Street Fighter 6.
It certainly doesn't need to look better than Cyberpunk.
It does not need to look better than Cyberpunk 2077 at 30 frames per second. Like, you don't... Are you listening? I'm serious, damn it. Don't crash this industry. No one needs this. And of course, Mario Kart World looks immaculate.
Oh, like, yeah, that game looks ludicrous.
Incredibly good looking.
Every time Nintendo comes out for a big franchise like that, it's always stunning what they can do with their hardware.
And also Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild look insane at 60.
Yeah.
And in HDR, like the rune stuff lighting up the way it does in that game in HDR looks incredible. So this is the conundrum of the Switch 2 launch. Game-wise, there's game virtually singular.
Yeah. And something else that really does, like, just make me feel so, like, not magical, no launch happening, is reusing the same OS. This is basically the exact same OS as the Switch 1. Just like when the Xbox One went to the Series. It doesn't feel good.
It doesn't spark joy.
Yeah.
Which is so weird.
I don't understand why so many companies don't understand that. Like, Sony's the only one still doing it. It's like, I don't care that it made it a little worse. It needed a refresh. I needed to feel like it was interacting with something new.
Yeah. Instead, all the newness came from them making that virtual game card system and me having to deal with that and the new icon for that, which is just me having not used my Switch in a few months.
Yeah.
Because they did that update for the Switch 1.
Exactly. Like, that's exactly what the Switch 1 was like.
That was the only new. That's it. Also, I guess there was the C for the game chat.
Yeah, the game chat button. God. That feels so old. That feels like, oh, this is when. Do you remember the original Xbox when Microsoft finally figured out got the headsets in with it? But it doesn't even feel that good. There's like nothing revolutionary about it at all. It just feels weird and half thought out. It's almost like, if you weren't going to try, why'd you even do it? And then Dan, for some reason, had to stop parental controls to even use the feature. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I don't know. It forced me at gunpoint to set up parental controls, or I couldn't use.
I don't have a child. Leave me alone.
Which mine luckily didn't do that, but
I don't know why it didn't do that. For some reason, mine did it, yours did it, and then it was like, you're the dad. Put parental controls on yourself. And I'm like, what? I don't know. I don't understand. By the way, Chris, when you talked, you didn't light up. You did move. I don't know why you didn't light up.
Yeah, that's strange. I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, that's fucking bizarre. Why are you so dark? Did Chris slip underneath the
I thought that only aggro lit up when he talked.
Yeah, only aggro lights up. Where is Chris? Chris, where are you? One moment. One moment. Bum, 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 bum. There we go.
All right.
Okay.
We're good. Everything's fine. So yeah, it's this really mixed bag of like how do I put this? The hardware feels good.
Yeah.
The performance level feels good. The controllers feel better. The system itself is larger. But there's game and Donkey Kong's next month, and then for the rest of the month, there's no Mario Odyssey at the end of the month, or end of the year.
Nothing like that on the way that's super exciting. But yeah, there's something that's really satisfying about these new magnets. Like, it's so easy.
Yeah, it's so much better than before. Before, you'd have to push the tiny circle in with your finger, and it had a decent amount of tension, and then pull up. This, it's you pull these triggers that are sideways. They come outward, and then just boop, boop.
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza is exciting to me. That's why I noted it. But beyond that, it's a bunch of Switch 1 games.
We've not even seen Kirby's Air Ride yet, which hopefully that gets fixed.
Which I told Bob I'm making a blood oath right now. If that game's $70, I will buy it at launch so we can fucking check it out. We need to know. I'm going in there.
Yeah, I still think there's going to be a direct next week.
Yeah,
they've never not done that.
Right, they have to do one, right? It's just weird that they haven't even announced it yet.
No, they usually only announce it like a day in advance, even then.
But that's the thing, and I'm stressing this again because every time I make this point, I hear people say exactly what they're saying in chat now. There is no Switch 2 game that excites me past Donkey Kong. There are Switch games coming out that have a Switch 2 upgrade better version, like Metroid Prime 4, Pokemon ZA. But those are not from the ground up exciting new experiences to let you know what this hardware is capable of. It is versions of those games that look slightly better and run correctly, hopefully.
And we're going to charge too much for them. And I think that's what actually makes it worse.
That's the really thing that's really killing it. Because frankly, when Sony stopped making PS4 versions of their games, that's kind of when the whole industry started getting a little bit burning down. Like maybe you shouldn't have been making these massive Unreal Engine 5 nightmares.
Isn't it basically the same MO as the PS5? No, there were like 5 or 6 PS5 native games in the first 6 months. We're now looking at 4 total by the end of the year.
There was Demon's, like in the first year, there was Demon's Souls.
Demon's Souls, Returnal,
Ratchet and Clank.
Astrobot itself, Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a number of them within 6 months. Here it feels like there are 4. That's a bit of an issue.
And it is Nintendo.
Right, it's Nintendo. This is literally the problem we have notoriously said is not their issue. They understand new hardware needs new games from the ground up to make the thing.
The big thing is just the pricing. Why the fuck do I have to pay an upgrade fee for these games? Sony and nobody, you're the only company to do that.
You literally
like
need
if it's
to
a game that
reward
came
me.
out 7 years ago, whatever. $10 for a game from 7 years ago, maybe. But why am I paying $20? And what's really fucking, why do I have to buy that DLC for Kirby in the Forgotten Land to get the improved performance? Like, why do I have to buy that $20 upgrade to do that? Because you knew that people would want that more than that DLC.
And the thing is, at the end of the day, I just bought a $500 console from you that keeps me in your ecosystem and interested in paying for Nintendo Switch Online. You owe me the free upgrade, dipshit. You already didn't make enough games to incentivize it. If you did this launch back in the PS3 era and went, oh, there are 4 games for the rest of the year. It's like, bro, you would have created just like Sony did. Like, so obviously you're leaning on, you got the fucking Switch 2. It will run these games better. Don't also charge me for that. Like, that's crazy. You cannot pretend that upgrade cost a sixth of the development cost of your game.
Yeah, no, it's a frame rate buff for most of these. Like, it's not something that should be considered worth $10 extra on top. Like, that's just the worst DLC.
It's just transparent money grubbing.
Right, it's transparently, what can we get away with?
Yeah.
Like Nintendo, like even all the stupid fake excuses people cook up to why these price points are okay, which are all fake and none of which are valid. None of them would apply to Nintendo anyway. Nintendo didn't blow their own head off.
Look at Pokemon Z today and tell me that cost them too much to make is Ghost of Yotei. It didn't. It did not.
No, it didn't even come close. Oh, my God.
And they want $70 for that. And we don't know how much they want for Metroid Prime. That's what's driving me crazy about that. That game's probably going to be $80.
If Metroid Prime on Switch 2 is $80, I'm going to scream because I'm excited for that game. I don't want to. I still haven't bought an $80 game.
Yeah,
that is a decision I will make in the future. Mostly
don't buy $70 games.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Like unless I can trade something in for credit or can do some kind of coupon to get it cheaper. Like.
Yeah, and
that's just too much. That's so much fucking money.
And with every other company, they come out at that $70 price, and we can wait like a couple weeks, and it'll drop. Nintendo doesn't do that.
No,
that's the most upsetting part.
So yeah, it's hard to, in different circumstances, I would be glowing about the Switch 2, but the Switch 2 is $500 and does not have a strong lineup of exclusives for this first year. Like. Let's put it this way. Aggro, you do not have a Switch 2.
I do not.
Oh, sorry. You're not over there anymore. You're up there. Aggro, you no longer have a Switch 2.
Nope.
How are you up there, by the way?
I just kind of dig my toes into the crown molding.
All right. I guess he's just built different.
Yeah.
He can literally play every game we're going to play past Donkey Kong for the rest of the year, except for another Hyrule Warriors.
And Kirby Air Ride.
And Kirby's Air Ride.
But like guys, just think about the power gap. Switch Year 1, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2, ARMS. I'm sure there's shit I'm forgetting. We had Pokemon Let's Go.
There's a lot of shit in the first year. And you might notice 2 of these are 10 out of 10 games. Breath of the Wild and fucking Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, they were like things that reinvented those gigantic, well-known franchises.
Xenoblade 2! We had Xenoblade Chronicles 2!
I thought that was the next year. Wow. Okay.
No,
that
was launch year.
That's crazy.
And before the 1-year anniversary, Pokemon Let's Go was 2018. It wasn't 2017.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't think that was there.
But before it was a full year, we also got Kirby Star Allies, which is not a good game, but it's a big it was a big new Kirby game.
And it's this is all fucking wild. Like, that is true. Breath of the Wild is technically a Wii U game, which is relevant to an incredibly small group of people on Wii U's. Chief among them were us, but yes, you could play it at a lower resolution there.
You could. But the same price, notedly.
But I would also, oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't say I have to spend $10 to.
You're telling me the Wii U version wasn't 50 and then the Switch version was 60? Oh my God.
Crazy.
Whoa.
I mean, I bought Fantasy Life. You know what happens on PlayStation when you buy a game that has a PS4 and PS5 version?
What's that, Chris?
You just get both.
Wow.
You just get both versions. Because
Stunning.
you know what's important? Keeping people in your ecosystem. Do you know why it doesn't matter how much credit GameStop gives you? Because that means you have to come back to their store again to spend it.
And so, because of all of this, my vibes, the price point, the software lineup, the charging for these upgrades, and specifically this launch era, like this for until DK Bonanza comes out, feeling weird and thin. I wish my vibes were better on this. The hardware itself is good. The hardware performance-wise and the hardware interface-wise. Getting to see these fucking Switch games run great is awesome. Getting to see it look really good on a 4K OLED is awesome. It sucks that all this rest of this, the $500, the paid upgrades and all this shit is bringing it down.
Yeah, it just feels like that price feels so incorrect. Like
It does.
It just doesn't feel right. Like, no, I opened up my Switch original box and found the $300 receipt in there. I was like, oh, right, that's what I'd pay for a portable version of the current consoles.
By the way, Bob, you should tell that story of the trade-ins and stuff, because you didn't tell that on Big Think.
Oh my god, yeah,
I think it's sickening.
I traded in all of like my original Switch, and I've done a few games and stuff, and it got down to the $300 price that the original one was. So I still had to pay another $300, which doesn't feel good.
No, that feels bad. Actually,
Feels really bad.
Yeah, and that's why I think most people are really not interested in this. Like, I mean, aggro fucking is still up there, one.
Yep.
But two, like,
Holding strong on both fronts.
Yeah, wait, is the FOMO not too strong? Do you not need to go get it right now because Mario Kart good?
yeah, Mario Kart good.
Yeah, like
No, yeah, like that Mario Kart looks real fucking amazing. I yearn for that Mario Kart. I'm not stepping over an $80 price tag to get it.
But what about a $500 price tag?
this, and it maybe this will sell just as well as the Switch. Maybe it'll even sell better than the Switch. But I'm so sick of people who look at something that is clearly a different circumstance. There is a material difference in the events happening and go, that doesn't matter at all. There's no way that could change anything. Nintendo's always the cheapest platform, and that's a pretty heavy component of their success. That doesn't matter. They can be just as much as a PS5, which they are now.
Which is so weird. Like, they shouldn't be identical price-wise to the PlayStation 5.
No.
That's not the same thing.
No.
It's a very different proposition, made for a different audience. But
and like their games shouldn't be $80 fucking dollars.
No one's games should be $80. The least of which Nintendo's. Sony gets to charge $80 if and when they literally have every famous celebrity in a game that's 100 hours long and looks as good as God of War Ragnarok. That's the only circumstance where I go, oh, that's $80. Okay, that makes sense. Fucking Tom Cruise is sucking off Chris Pratt in this game. They're having gay sex every fucking 10 minutes in this game. Here's your $80.
Like, we've heard rumors that like the Nintendo of Japan and Nintendo of America are at odds. Right now.
Oh yeah.
And I'm kind of putting this on Nintendo of Japan based on stories we have from the Wii where they're like, well, you don't give them a game. What do you mean you're gonna give them Wii Sports? We made that to sell.
it's like, yeah, it sold the console.
Dumb shit.
Right?
Yeah, and it's talking about other weird things about this launch, and I need to put this in a big thing. I know I mentioned it on the stream at the beginning of the day. Gotta say it again. So we have friends who got the Switch 2, and it's pre-installed on their system. So since in their region it was before midnight, they could not play Mario Kart pre-installed on their Switch 2.
Right, which is crazy.
Because me and Bob, we got a piece of paper, and Tosh. All three of us got a piece of paper with a code on it. We put in the code, we got to go immediately. What this implies is the plan to put that game on the system was made late enough that only some of them come pre-installed. That's the only reason you would do it as two different paradigms. The only other instance that would make sense to me is they completely reoriented which ones would have more of what.
That's true.
That's the only other way. I think, honestly, the other way is way more likely.
Right. It could have been that thing of like, oh, there's actually demand for people wanting that Mario Kart bundle because that's the only way to get Mario Kart
for less than $80.
Yeah.
God, while we were at the GameStop, some kids came in and they're like, do you still have the Mario Kart one? And the guy at the GameStop counter's like, no, we're all out of the Mario Kart bundle. And they're like, oh, we'll have to buy it separately. It's $30 more. And I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah, that sucks for families. Every time I hear them Nintendo's the company that sells things about families, I'm like, you sure?
Are you still
Not
sure?
anymore,
This
which is
costs-
especially weird. Which is especially weird because that was literally in their financials last year, where they're like, the Switch was so successful because families get one for each kid instead of one. And
Maybe
it's like they're not going to do that when it's $500.
Maybe this was coded language for that guy in the company to let all of his friends know to sell their stock once they announce the price. I think a
but
cheap
I went to
revision-
GameStop today. Like
okay,
I went to
go on.
GameStop today, and literally everybody in there, children. There was some children, there was adults, and then there was the staff. All three groups were like, "Yeah, $80 is a lot of fucking money."
Yeah, $80 is a lot of money.
Yeah. Nobody's happy about this.
No.
Nobody. As you might expect, our midnight launch had a crap load of children in it. The most I've ever seen at a midnight launch. Pokemon does not get that many children. But the Nintendo Switch 2 at launch had that many children.
Mm-hmm.
And the thought of, each kid $500. Soon games $80 each.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
What the hell are you talking about? What the hell's happening? I think a reduced price revision of the Switch 2 is, if Nintendo gets the picture and everything is responsive, we're looking at PS3 tiers of spin up the cheap version. What did we do? Because for people who don't know, they spun up the version of the PS3 that was $400 pretty fucking fast.
They did. They need to
like
get that
8
out as
months or
soon as they could.
I mean, that depends on how the sales go.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's
true.
$500, but it's still the Switch 2, culturally speaking.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that it might not lag behind at launch, but it'll start to lag behind in the coming months when people go, that's $500.
Oh, yeah, especially as this lineup of exclusive dries out. Like, your friends, by and large, your friends aren't going to hear, like, oh, I'm playing the Pokemon on the Switch 2. It's so good. It's like, yeah, I'm also playing that Pokemon.
Right.
Like, I feel like not everyone's me. I have this pretty good understanding that not everyone's me. So when I try to imagine the person who's like, oh, I'm playing it on the Switch 2, it's so great, I imagine my average friend going, yeah, I can play that on the Switch 1, and it costs $10 less.
Yeah, like Nintendo's whole thing is if you play most games on the Switch, you broadly don't care.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm seeing Rob Lincoln chat bring up, like, they, much like me, grew up gaming on a budget and trying to imagine the kid in line. $80 video game. Yeah, that's all I've been thinking. I'm just like, when that kid came up and it's like, they don't have the bundle, so now we got to pay $30 more. I'm like, I didn't even have fucking $30.
No.
I'm trying to imagine.
$30 is huge.
We just spent over $500 on the system, and now we need 30 more.
Yeah. Then the 50 we accounted for.
Yep.
Yep, so that's why the vibes here are terrible. But the system itself is pretty nice, and it feels good to finally have what should be a triumvirate, but is actually a duo of gaming systems that can play games that are relevant at reasonable qualities.
Yeah, I don't even think I think to some extent, like, I really do think that if not for Donnie Deals, the Switch 2 would have only been $400. Like, I really do think that they slapped 50 more on to buffer from whatever he did. But the games are just unacceptable. Like, the price on that is just simply unacceptable.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Literally doesn't make any sense. Literally doesn't make any sense. I think that's it, though. Bob and I thought the Switch Pro controller, the Switch Pro 2, felt higher quality than the first one.
Yeah, no, that feels a lot better.
It's much improved. And it has, and everyone's gonna.
Which it better be. This thing is $90, $80.
I think,
$80.
I think the Joy-Con 2s are like 90, 95, and then this is 85, which is fucking too much money. But it has handle buttons like the rumors were for the PS5 controller, and then that turned out to be a DualSense Edge feature.
Yeah.
It has inset buttons. So yeah, $85 for
85. So I guess that deal at Costco is pretty good. They're selling for 75.
Oh yeah, I'm completely fucking jealous and livid.
Yeah.
On a related note, They're apparently going to sell Donkey Kong at 62. Problem, our local Costco seems to hate gaming.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking mad. Anyways, anything else you want to say about the Switch 2? I tried to use it in bed and it's really huge and heavy, so I gave up on holding it up like that and just put it on the stand on the side.
Yeah, this shit is huge.
Yeah, this thing is really heavier than it looks.
Oh my
even.
god, I gotta pull out the Steam Deck. I haven't done it once. We gotta know.
That's true.
It's way thinner.
I think a lot of the weight comes from the stand that's all metal and it's actually pretty substantial.
Yeah, the build quality's good,
Yeah,
but it's heavy.
it is. I don't know if that's a good trade-off, but it's a trade-off they made. All right, we didn't even talk much about the mouse features because there's no game out that really makes a lot of use of it. We used it in Cyberpunk a bit, and that was neat.
Did it like work?
It worked, yeah.
Because that's honestly the one thing I was worried about. Like, yes, it technically operates, but it's not good.
I don't know if I'd go so far as to say it's good, but it was interesting. It was like playable.
Yeah, because mouse look at really low frame rates with modern buffer latency is weird.
Right. So maybe on like Metroid or something it'll be better because that game will run a lot better than Cyberpunk.
So these are not radically different sizes on 2 dimensions. You know, the
yeah,
height
yeah.
and width.
Yeah.
However, this is much heavier and the weight is distributed weirdly. Here, I'll hand that to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like they're similar size-wise, but this is definitely a lot bulkier and bigger.
And the screen's not as big.
Yeah.
And
no,
since
this
that's
isn't.
original Steam Deck, that it's a bad LCD that's
Yeah, really,
720p
really
or
bad.
something and has horrible pixel response
Yeah, and all the
times.
buttons feel kind of bad on this too, whereas they don't on the Switch.
Whereas the Joy-Cons actually feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
just weird that we ended up with an even larger situation, it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's strange. It is gone past. It went past what I considered a portable with the Switch original, so it's only gone farther now.
Can you hand me your Switch too, just so I can real quick also size it out? Yeah, it's much lighter. Like this is, because Jesus Christ, the Steam Deck. Jesus Christ, the Steam Deck. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Steam Deck has those built-in handles, which I don't feel like they're that good.
Yeah.
Which a Digital Foundry person actually brought up. Oh yeah, with the Switch you can buy like an actual case for it that gets you handles that feel way better than like the Steam Decks, and that's a good point. Like, yeah, it's better to have something that's like more generic and easier to attach things to in that regard.
Aside from that, I think we covered everything. I think we're all good. I don't think we need to talk about anything else. And as such,
Oh right, the Switch, the Joy-Con grip. It feels like they aren't in there as tight as I would want them to be.
yeah, it's really weird. So for people who forgot, the Joy-Con grip thing is the weird plastic sort of bracket thing that comes with your Switch console that you just slide the Joy-Cons into. The weird thing this time is since they're not sliding in from the top, it feels like the sides need to be more clear
Yes.
for you to push them in from the sides, right? And as a part of that, it really, yeah, I agree. Just something about it doesn't feel like flush. It doesn't feel whole in a weird way. It feels a little open.
Yeah,
Very strange.
I'm very curious if a third party can make a better one of those. They probably can. I don't know how long it'll take
Probably.
them.
Probably. Let's see. Joy-Cons attach better, detach better. The sticks are better. The sticks are way better and stuff on the Switch Pro 2 controller. I think that's it, though. I think we're good.
We didn't pick up the camera. We can't tell you how the camera is.
Chat, I already feel bad buying this hardware to cover it. Like, that already feels wasteful to some extent. There's no fucking world in which I'm buying that camera. I don't make that money.
No.
I don't make that money, guys. We have a USB webcam that Eric stopped using for his job and just gave to me. So we can use that. So I think we're good.
Okay. Cool.
I'm tired of talking. Hey, Aggro, what have you been playing?
I got to play a few things this week. I got to play a game called Poco.
Okay.
Spell that?
Poco.
Okay.
I have got an image that I'm going to throw in here because it is a point-and-click adventure game with a like a hand-painted background style where you play as the platonic ideal of the little guy.
Oh my god, this game is a real game. I thought
It's
it
a
was
real
Image.
game. It's free on Steam.
Oh,
I blew through it in like a couple hours. Like it's just a weird, neat little point and click adventure you can blow through. But it still like I think there's like less than 30 screens, but it still has multiple endings and cool stuff to collect and a couple of secrets. And
is it voiced?
it is Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay. How clown is it? Does the clownness ever stop?
You open the game by disappointing the clown council and being ejected from the giant walking circus that apparently rules the land. It's fucking weird and kind of dark, honestly.
Am I gonna need to play this for Game of the Year?
I mean, that Scrimblow is going in the category, so maybe. Like, it's free and it's 2 hours. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Right.
I also played the demo for Clover Pit, finally, which was that PS1 looking game where you're locked in a closet-sized room with a slot machine and an ATM.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of shelves and dispensaries. It's I mean, you're gambling. Every time you pull the lever, a computer voice goes, "Let's go gambling." And you get you can pay for modifiers, little charms that affect the icons, make them more likely to appear or give them certain bonuses. And your goal is to hit increasingly large amounts of money you put into the ATM at the end of every third round, or the floor opens up and you die.
So this whole game is just pulling the slot machine?
There's the slot machine, the ATM. You can turn around and there's basically like an automat that has all your different power-ups you can buy that swap out every round. Every round a phone rings and you answer it and pick between one of 3 power-ups or debuffs. There's a toilet you can take a shit in, which unlocks the jar full of shit power-up. I don't remember what it does.
Oh. Can there be less in this game?
But in exactly the same way that Balatro slid off me, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a neat thing. Okay. I played 2 rounds of this and went, oh no. Oh no, the hooks. Because it's a 5x3 slot machine. So every time you pull it up, you get that full grid, and 3 up, 3 or 4 across, the V pattern, the X. All of these have different payouts, and you always. I mean, it's a slot machine. Like, I don't. Apparently, my thing is not games that are kind of like gambling or have gambling-esque mechanics. I need my video game to have real gambling in it. I also played the demo for Dispatch that they put out on Steam. That's the you are an ex-superhero at a dispatch office where you're dispatching your Suicide Squad out to different calls, and it's made by a bunch of old Telltale people. Like, it opens up with made by some of the people who brought you, and they start listing Telltale games. It's a really neat game where, like, you've got your roster of dudes, and they've got that circular chart of their 5 different abilities. I don't remember what those are called, like a web chart, I think, where they make geometric shapes depending on how far out the nodes go on the circle.
A stand power chart.
Yes, that is what it is. And you're looking at the map, and you're like an icon will pop on. You'll click on it. It'll be like, "Hey, you need to get a cat out of a tree," and it'll give you keywords of like this needs to happen fast, or you need to track people, or there will be combat, and you have to assign your guys depending on what their stats are. And then when the mission, like they run across the map to it, there's a timer going down while they do the mission. When the mission ends, it pops up with the hidden chart of what the mission required, and then it overlays the chart of your guy's stats, and a dot pings around in there. And if it lands inside the mission but outside your guy's stats, you fail.
Huh.
And it's Telltale, guys, so it's cross chatter and talking the entire time this is happening. You know, it's neat. It's really cool. It's genuinely funny. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, how long was the demo?
The demo was like one in-game day. I don't think I played it for more than 30, 40 minutes.
Okay.
It wasn't a lot. Like they drop you down right after the intro and let you play the first little tutorial segment of gameplay. I think the word fuck is said in that demo like 45 times. That's how you know it's comedy for adults.
This has Jesse Pinkman, right?
I believe that is the case. I know Laura Bailey's in it. I also got to play the Hell Is Us demo for a little bit.
Oh, so did I.
Yes.
You sure can tell exactly what that game is before it unlocks the combat, can't you?
It was great because I actually played the demo right after I picked up the Neo 3 demo and put it down in 5 minutes because this is a me thing. I cannot stand hitting any of the buttons in that game. The movement feels wrong. The attacks feel wrong. Everything. It was like sticking my hand in a sink full of cold dishwater. I just didn't. I bounced off the Neo demo immediately. Hell Is Us actually felt better to play at a basic level.
I disagree with this completely, but I like that. I'll continue. Did they put the Hell Is Up demo on like a console?
No, I played it on my laptop.
Okay, because my PC couldn't play it well.
I was getting 60 if nothing was happening, and then it would drop to 40 when stuff was happening.
Yeah, that's about where it was at for me.
So this is the far outside of what I would still call a Souls-like because of how they designed the combat. Like, yes, you can see the souls in the combat. Everything else, though, is like the only thing I guess I could compare it to is with a massive amount of recency bias is Atomfall, where the game opens up and they're like, "You're not getting a map. Don't you feel hardcore?"
I found it really hilarious. The first thing they do is that big advisor of like, "There's no map. We'll never tell you what to do." And then the first mission is like, "Follow those X's in the forest. Follow the bells in the forest." I'm like, guys, I understand you're teaching me the game, but maybe don't go so hard on your vision for the game.
Honestly, like after playing enough games where it's like, oh, you follow the blood trail, by which I mean turn on detective mode and follow the lit icons. I'll take what I can get. I've also heard and read a bit about it where like your main quest you'll have info for in your little data pad that you're carrying around with you. Everything else, bro, I hope you bought a notebook because we're not writing it down for you.
That makes sense.
So I am, if they pull that part of the game off well, then I will take all the watered down Souls combat you are going to shove down my throat. Which I didn't find the combat disagreeable. I thought it was really interesting that your maximum stamina, because, you know, it's Souls combat, you've got a stamina bar. Your maximum stamina is tied to your current health.
Yeah, that was a weird choice.
Yeah, as one goes down, the other goes down. But they give you the, as you attack enemies, they spew out little white particles that start floating around your character in a ring. And if you hit one button, it'll pulse and you'll get a bunch of health back depending on how many attacks you just did in the last few seconds. So it, like, okay, that's not really the stamina thing doesn't become a punishment spiral because getting your health back is not that hard. So now it just seems like a weird extra thing you tacked on.
Yeah, I think the only thing that really worried me about the combat was when they introduced the enemy type that is, oh, he spawns another enemy you have to kill before you can hit him. Which sounded like it was going to be most of the enemies in the game.
Yeah, I've heard there's not more than like 5 or 6 enemies in the game total. At least not in the sections they've been allowing people to preview so far. And I haven't seen any more than a couple in the footage I've seen. So yeah, it this is that weird circumstance where, oh yeah, I played the demo. and I am exactly as unsure about the game as I was before I played it.
I wrote my description what the game is it's modern day Eastern European Dark Souls with Western RPG stuff and Resident Evil puzzles.
Yeah, that seems fair. I don't know. I haven't gotten to a lot of the puzzles. That first puzzle is very Resident Evil. Yeah.
Yeah, that's on. I think my guess is it's going to be mostly stuff like that, where it's like, oh, get this and bring it to a thing nearby.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
we
again,
don't really
like-
know.
Yeah, no, it's too unknown. Like, oh yeah, we did the Adamfall thing where you get leads and information and knowledge is power, and I'm like, that sounds really cool. Hope you pulled it off. That would be good.
And it's even sectioned off in a weird way where we got a car at the end of the demo, and then that seems like it's going to just warp us to different areas, and I don't know how interconnected they're going to be.
Oh, is that how it worked? I didn't get to the end of it. I got far enough in to go, okay, this is what it's like, but the first thing this demo says is it does not transfer save data, so I didn't, and it's just the start of the game, so I didn't want to go too far.
Yeah, exactly. That's always feels a little rough. It's like, why doesn't it? Whatever.
Was there anything else you wanted to say about it before I moved on?
No, not really.
Although one last note, it's really weird that all your weapons have limbic in the title.
Yeah, the weapons are weird. They're like you get it's modern day setting, but then you have these weird like giant sword that's covered in white goo or something.
Yeah, it's some kind of like only the alien material can hurt the aliens thing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I also played the demo for Strange Antiquities, which showed up at some show we watched. I do not remember.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Or was it at the Mix and only I watched it? I don't know. It is a flash as hell looking game where your cousin or uncle, I don't remember, leaves you his shop full of dangerous magical shit, and people keep coming in to purchase the dangerous magical shit. But it's all unlabeled, and all you've got is a book he hands you before he leaves. Where like someone will come in and be like, "Oh, I want a woozle bop." So you go in the book, okay, woozle bop. Usually circular, probably has a ruby in it. So then you look at your shelves. You can click on an item to zoom in, and it'll have like different categories of what is it made of? How does it feel to the touch? How does it smell? Is it making a sound? How are the vibes? Is it kicking my sixth sense off? And you've got to figure out which of these objects fits the description of the weird magical thing they're looking for, and then give it to them. And if you fuck up enough, that meter on the right starts ticking up from green to red, and I don't know what happens when you get there.
Yeah, I'm like, will the people die?
I'm worried that I've already given dangerous people some things they shouldn't have access to. I don't know if I didn't find a button to refuse service to anyone. I did not find the ability to reserve that right. You've got this screen, a screen to the left and right of more shelves, a screen to the bottom where there's a map where like stuff comes in, where it gives you a clue like, oh, he went northwest from this building and went to this, and you have to find where on the map it's talking about. You can see on that image there's a little hand crank on the bottom left. That'll raise up a section of the counter there, and there's new stuff in there. There's all sorts of little things to poke at and prod and find. It seems like a really, really cool, neat little story-based puzzle game that really leans into my fantasy of being left alone in a magical object shop with nothing but a reference book to guide me.
Very specific fantasy.
Very specific fantasy, it's true. I also got to play the first few hours of Look Outside, a pixel art body horror RPG.
Yeah, this is the sprite artist from seminal RPG classic Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam Guide.
Is it? Oh man,
Yes,
I need to
it is
take
just
another.
the sprite art, I believe.
I need to take another look at how much fucked up shit is in that game, because there is, let me tell you, some fucked up shit in this game. Like you wake up in your apartment and there's a hole in the wall and your neighbor's eye is in the hole and your neighbor's like, hey, you should look outside. I mean, sorry, don't do that. Don't look outside. What the fuck am I talking about? Come over here and talk to me instead. And if you do the normal thing and go, fuck that guy, I'm going to go look out my window. You get this beautiful gif of your eyes being pulled out of their sockets and your skin sloughing off and flying out the window.
Oh.
So apparently there's some horrific thing traveling through the solar system and that everybody who looks at it gets Cronenberged. So you have to survive in your apartment complex for 14 days while keeping up your hygiene, morale, and eating food. So if you just stay in your apartment, you get sad and dirty and go crazy. And if you go outside, there are unspeakable nightmares. Like, imagine if you had a rash, but the rash was teeth.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep, that's what I'm looking at images of, and I'm like, what can I get away with showing before people get mad at me?
It was really great. At one point, I was brushing my teeth, which is where like you kind of check in for the day and you look in the mirror. And for the first few days, I was like, you feel pretty great about yourself. And then it was like, you stole things from people. Okay, but I need those things to survive. What about the other people? Those other people were fucked up Cronenberg monsters? Not all of them were. I don't think you flagged this correctly because yes, all of them were. What the fuck are you talking about? It's deadly, to say the least. You only save your game if you've been out of your apartment for long enough for your neighbor to find the story you told of what you've been doing interesting. The longer you're out of your apartment, the higher the danger level rises. I'm not sure what that means because I don't push that shit. I managed to recruit a couple of party members that felt very, very missable because they were at the end of some weird, esoteric, possibly not well-advised choices I made in dialogue trees. In fact, one of them is a kid with a tooth rash.
Oh.
I may have killed his dad and neglected to mention it.
I know that if you meet your landlord, he threatens to shoot you, and then if you convince him you're fine, he demands money.
That's real good. Yeah, it's like it is a horrible nightmare with lots of dark and desperate things happening, but it's also a very neat little RPG with lots of cool dialogue and interesting choices and events that are going on. And you get to make pizza rolls.
Oh, great.
So there's that. But yeah, that is all I have been playing.
Cool.
Hey, Chris, what have you been playing?
So I played Mega Man X6 on Saturday.
Oh my god, that was this week.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 6.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That game is a nightmare, but I feel its dark power. Like, I understand why so many people are like, I should play it every month.
Is that really
Like,
that many
it is-
people?
It is that exact thing where it's like, yeah, this is a piece of shit, but I could do it so much faster a second time. Like, I understand all its evil now. It would be easy.
Yeah, I think Bob's onto something. I think it's one person.
No, it's multiple people.
You know multiple people who play X6 monthly.
I assume because speedrunners showed up in my chat and is like, you can do this to get through this section.
That's like saying I know people who are in Spain and upset that we're talking poorly of a Mercury Steam game. No, I don't. The Spanish have logged online directly from Mercury Steam HQ.
But like, I get it. It's that same evil energy that Banjo-Tooie has. Where it's like, this has its own fucked up set of rules, and it feels like a waste that you only figure those rules out at the end of the game. It's just not very good.
It is a
The
game.
all bosses generally seem pretty alright.
It is a game riddled with the worst decisions possibly in the entire Mega Man franchise, all piled on a game that reuses assets from one of the best Mega Man games ever made.
Yeah, it also, to put it bluntly, is borderline incomprehensible.
Yeah, yeah. Explaining the nightmare system to a perfectly normally medicated
No,
person.
I mean the text. I mean like the script.
Oh yeah, it's really
that's
poorly
garbage.
translated, and it probably was not even good to begin with.
Yeah, you would have been better off getting machine. I hid myself to repair myself. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's bad.
I hate the nightmare system. There's nothing in games I hate more than it just becoming dark so you can't see. And that's the nightmare effect in multiple levels.
Yeah.
I like Hymax. I don't have any problem with him. He's kind of rough, but whatever. He's cool. I think his design is cool enough that you kind of believe that the X-Buster and Z-Saber just bounce off him in the opening of the game. Cause he's Pluto from Mighty Atom / Astro Boy. He is just explicitly Pluto from the World's Strongest Robot storyline, which may have inspired most of Mega Man as a whole.
Yeah, that and Catherine.
The fucking... How dare people claim Inti Creates didn't make this game? It has the same devil boss as Mega Man 10. Like, where there are 2 blocks and they move around and then shoot things back and forth between each other. It has that boss in it.
Yeah, isn't that the same one that has the glitch that shows up in Mighty Number 9?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Gate also sucks. I hate that you can't damage him yourself. You have to wait for him to throw out his fucking ball and then blow it up so it hurts him.
Yeah.
I think Sigma being a shitty rotten corpse is really funny in his first phase.
Possibly the best thing in that entire game.
I don't know why he becomes a Contra hardcore boss in his second phase. Yeah, it's... I'm trying to, like, I'm having the mid-off in my mind. I'm like, which is worse, X5 or X6? X6 has better music, but it also
does.
has Blaze Heatnik's level, where I have to fight the same fucking mini-boss 5 times. And that's the level.
Happy National Donuts Day!
Yes. Oh.
And it also has the nightmare effects.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it also... So at some point I intend to play through it again as Zero. Like, I intend to do all the ones where you can play as Zero.
Okay.
But I might do patches for X5 and X6 that people made. Except I might not do the X6 patch at all because the patch changed all kinds of stuff. It ripped out a bunch of annoying stuff. It made a lot of stuff make more sense. It lowered the health of multiple things that needed their health lowered. But then they're like, we made game overs take you back to the start of the level now instead of just taking you to the checkpoint like in X6. And I'm like, that's what makes X6 beatable.
Yeah.
Like, if I couldn't just grind my face into Hymax in that fortress level until I got to him, that fortress level, which is a fucking nightmare and also has another boss after it. Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. There should be no regard in which you want to make it harder.
Well, they're making it more balanced. They also increase how many lives you get, so at least there's that.
Okay.
But that's not like those
you
levels are nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
I hate any, like, I added all these quality of life things in this game and fixed these bugs. And I had some ideas about the game balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't want that, though. Why did you have to have... Can you release a not your fucked up vision version of the patch? That happened with KOTOR 2, Knights of the Old Republic 2. Mm-hmm. Where they did like a restored content mod because that game has so much cut content, and people on the team were like, you shouldn't include those wildly unbalanced and terrible combat slogs that they cut from the game. You should only include like the dialogue and stuff. And they're like, no, it must be everything. We have to leave the fucked in combat slogs where you'd play as one of your party members instead of the main character.
Oh my god.
And it barely works because they cut it for a reason.
It was too beautiful. That's why they cut it.
Yeah, Mega Man X6 sucks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's literally that. You got any fun? We got abysmal dog shit, and then Will Smith just covers his face and looks away.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm excited next week Saturday, to see how X7 is worse.
Won't
It's
be,
not.
by the way.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's terrible in completely novel ways. X6 is a fucking unforgivable piece of shit. X7 is a bad 3D adaptation of a 2D video game. At least there's a reason it is the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
But you're probably going to play the American version, which means weapons won't work. Have fun.
Yeah, I'm contemplating, because I'm playing it on the collection, which I think you can switch the region. I'm like, should I just play the European version where the weapons fucking work? But that's not true strength. That's not what came out here. But it is what came out of every other place in the world. So I don't know. I'll have to decide.
I've been mostly silent during Chris talking about X6 because if I get started, I'll never stop. But genuinely turning X4 into X5 and X6 is an unforgivable fucking crime. Fuck you for putting that out. That franchise had a fucking stellar track record until after X4. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, I felt so burnt. Jesus.
It's really like they fucking I'm blaming Keiichi Inafune for it.
Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely.
I know, even though he didn't work on X6 at all, he mandated it be made, I bet.
Oh, for sure.
Like, he claims he doesn't. He wanted to switch to Zero, and I'm like, I don't believe that. Fuck you. But like they didn't need. I think between like 2000 and 2006, they released like 20 Mega Man games. No wonder the franchise like went into remission. You can't release 5 games in your franchise a year. Only Five Nights at Freddy's can do that.
It's true. And even they stopped eventually. Christ.
I also beat Pipistrello in the Cursed Yo-Yo.
Cool.
I didn't expect that game to become so much like Celeste in the back half.
Huh. It did.
It becomes really strongly platform focused because all your moves are mobility.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have the riding the yo-yo that can cross water. You jump and throw the yo-yo out, and if it hits a wall, it throws you back a certain number of squares. So there'll be mazes where you have to chain it together a bunch of times to get through like a big maze that has no floor.
Mm-hmm.
And you get like a wall ride ability that just lets you ride any wall.
Oh wow.
And then the last one is like you get to you throw the yo-yo out and can like lash at it and then jump further away from it. And it works really well because the game is a little bit non-linear. You have 2 options at first, and then you get 2 more after you beat the first 2. Which means you can always, the last area of the set you always go to, you have an ability that they didn't design that area for because they have to be designed for you to complete them without it. Which just lets you do all kinds of exploits and skip the intended progression.
Which is pretty great.
Which many times will have challenges that give you something if you use that to skip the intended progression. Like there's an obstacle course in one thing. It's like, it's full of these hooks that you throw the yo-yo at and then they let you jump. That's like, if you beat this obstacle course and you use the hooks less than 15 times, you get an extra reward.
Huh.
There's also a badge that I found that a prompt popped up and said, this entirely breaks the game. We'd rather you not use it. And the badge is, it just lets you turn when you're riding the yo-yo.
Oh my god.
Whoa. Yeah, that sounds like it breaks the game.
And I loved that because in an entire U shape around the map, there is water, there is a harbor, and trying to navigate it with using their bumpers and shit instead of just being able to turn is a nightmare. That's where it is, by the way. That feels like the intended thing. It's like, good job, you found the thing that makes this easier. Even the combat encounters are good because all the enemies do very different things, and you don't really have to deal with them in different ways, but you have to like prioritize them. Like, this asshole has a remote control car. If you kill him, it stops working, but it will chase you forever if you don't. It has the old enemy that makes another enemy invulnerable, but they stay still and are white mages, so it's a little bit forgivable. And they show up at the anime con.
Are you telling me they don't float 50 feet in the air in a game where you can't shoot up? We didn't even talk about playing. We didn't even talk about playing Astral Chain on the Switch too, and I was like, "Wow, it's locked 30. Too bad it's capped at 30."
Yep.
Bayonetta 3 wasn't capped at 30. It runs at 60 now.
Yeah, no,
it would have been stellar
cool.
if Astral Chain could have gotten that.
Yeah, that was a really great game. Except, Dan, how much of it did you play?
I played 3 hours. I did a lot of the open world stuff. I basically did the first dungeon and a lot of the hub stuff.
Their version of the Zelda jingle is the start of the Wii Sports theme.
Okay, that's funny.
That makes me think of when I was playing this. There are a lot of rooms in the open world. This plays a song that I swear is the song Devolver Digital used in their press conferences for years. The like bum 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 dum sort of jingle they have.
Are you talking about that da 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 da? Because that's
Yes.
the Devolver.
Yes.
Wow, that sounded nothing like that.
Yeah, but their Zelda jingle is. I
mean, that is what you just did. Is Wii Sports?
It's a little bit of a different key, but it's that exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, you guys.
I also
Well, a lot of Cromartie fans will love me making that joke. Anyways,
but yeah, that's a really fucking good game. It's only $20 and it's like 20 hours long. So go buy it.
yeah, it's a good ass video game. I'm really fucking.
I think it's on everything except for maybe Xbox. I don't actually know on that one. I know it's on everything else. I also played the first chapter of Deltarune again and some of the second. Because for whatever fucking reason, that when it was considered the demo still, it didn't work with cloud saves. So if you deleted it from your system, it deleted the saves. So I did not have my saves from then. So I have to play through chapter 1 and 2 again. I don't have to, but I don't have to. You can start at 3, but I have a condition that means I can't.
I was gonna say, can you at least do they have a thing in 3 so you can make the choices you would have made?
No. There aren't really any choices. Like, your choices would just probably change, like, some dialogue.
and the names of things.
And the names of things, yeah. And whether or not your machine sucks ass. Because you made it a duck.
And there may also be some things near the end of 2 that I feel may reflect in future, but somebody made a PC save file editor, so that way people who didn't have their save file could be like, yep, we're gonna upload a completed save file of 2 and then just change these values to what I did.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
good. I bought it on PlayStation before I knew that.
Oh yeah.
And if it had my saves from when I played it on PC, I would have just bought it on PC. But I'm not going to go to all the trouble to use a save editor. That's not true strength. Also, I like that game, so I don't really have any problem playing through the first chunk of it yet again. It's funny because from what everybody says, it is short. Like the part 3 and 4 are shorter than 2, like individually. But apparently the production value went up, like another notch.
That makes sense.
Good.
I hope that making $50 million already, I think, lets them shove a rocket up the development of the rest of this game's ass. Like, I hope it doesn't take 4 additional years.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here like, they had the save problem this time. It's even more motivation just wait until it's all out. Then you can just play through
I don't
all
think
of
it'll
it.
happen again this time because you buy it and it's just like, this is the game now. The other things will be free DLC.
Oh really?
Huh.
Is that how we're
Yeah,
doing it?
it's like you pay $25. It's $25, and then it's like we will update the game with the new chapters when they come out. Did I play anything else this week other than a little bit of Mario Kart World? I cleaned my entertainment center because I was like, if I'm gonna put the Switch 2 in it, I might as well take everything out of it, wipe off the cables, wipe off the consoles. I so strongly considered not hooking the Series X back up and just taking it to GameStop.
Fucking why
I just
wouldn't you?
looked at it because I need it for Weeb Plays Call of Duty, because I intend to do more of that, and that's the easiest way to play the 7th gen Call of Duties, because they're all backwards compatible.
Mm-hmm. And you don't want to hook up a PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to play the PC versions because that's difficult, and also they're still fucking a lot of money. Meanwhile, I can just walk into the used game store and be like, "Yeah, I want that $6 copy of Modern Warfare." I'm like, okay, who the fuck else would want it? It's
They
a
made
million
a
years
billion
old
of
and it
these.
sold 30 million copies.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I need it for Enchanted Arms and Final Fantasy X-2 and X-3. Assuming that, I mean, 13-2 and 13-3. Assuming they don't do a 13 collection within the next year, which I think is entirely possible, since it's not like they have anything else going on.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
It took them 3 years plus to make a Final Fantasy Tactics remake. I don't know if we can.
I do not think that is the case, because the director of that remake was the writer of 16, so I think it just didn't start development until after 16 was done. Because he was also on the original game. Like, it has most of the people who worked on the original game that are still at that company on that port.
When
so I
did the
presume they just
NVIDIA
didn't
leak
start it till later.
happen?
2021.
So it had to
company-
have
like,
started
studio-
to any degree before that, because how else would
They might have just
NVIDIA
known what they
have the
might have
link?
just. They might have just known, like, it'll come out at some point. Like that
Everything-
Insomniac leak had their games up to like
but that's-
2032.
That's an internal document. NVIDIA had knowledge, and a database registration for a game's development implies it must have actually entered development before that. There's a world of difference between Insomniac internal information about Insomniac and NVIDIA cloud streaming information in regards to third-party games. Every other game on that list was not this speculative. Every other game was already confirmed in development, which is why almost all of them have come out now.
Onimusha?
Yeah, I mean, look at it.
Yeah, that is a game that takes a long time to make.
Yeah, no, that's very AAA.
Is it
That
all but
obviously would have been in development then.
Yeah, who knows? I
I-
still expect that maybe entered very small pre-production, and then like, we need to get everybody on 16. That obviously did not go well.
I mean, history tells us that is a correct assessment of how that went. Not well.
I didn't play anything else.
What's up, Bob?
Hey, I also played a little bit of Pistrello. I got through the first 2 dungeons, so it's not really a little bit. I played a decent chunk of it.
Yeah, you played more than me. That's more than 3 hours.
Right, yeah, it was probably more
Probably.
like 6 hours.
Yeah.
The combat rooms do get real tough in that game.
Yeah. One of the interesting things
Yeah.
about it to me is that it has such a combat focus.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not usually the case with every Zelda-like.
No.
Yeah.
And I keep there's the upgrade system we talked about last week where you get the upgrade right now, but then you take some demerits. So now I'm to the point in that chart where it's like, hey, the demerit
Where
is
they're all too bad. They're too big to even bother with.
yeah, they suck real bad. Like, oh, I'm gonna take off like 4 attack points. Like, yo, dude.
There is. They did put stuff later in the game that you can do tricks to get rid of them faster. Like there's like things where you can give the money and then take it back, and half of it will go to the debt.
Oh, huh.
And they have you found a diamond yet?
Yeah, I have a bunch of diamonds.
There's a store that will buy them, and each successive diamond they will pay $100 more for.
Oh wow. Yeah, I
And
need to find
that is
store.
how I got the all your special moves have some new feature now, because I just threw all the diamonds, because it's like 3,500, and I just had like 6 diamonds, and then that got it almost entirely down.
Cool.
Cool. But yeah, not much else to say about that. Chris already covered it a good bit. Game's really cool. Definitely be ready
I'm
for
not
a
joking
difficult
when I
Zelda
say
game.
I'm not joking when I say go buy this fucking game. It doesn't seem to have blown up very much, and I need them to live.
Yeah, it's
This
very
game is
confidently made.
really
It's crazy.
good.
But I did play some other stuff,
Okay.
like the Hunter x Hunter Net Impact demo that came out.
Oh shit! I'm not gonna play that until they include the character that can give you a high interest loan.
Okay, so people don't know, this is the, I believe, Aiding made tag fighter, like Marvel vs. Capcom style, but was Hunter x Hunter. It looks very cheap. All the story stuff is pictures from that like 10-plus-year-old anime. Not many of them. And not even with English voice acting. Not even with much Japanese voice acting. The characters say maybe a few lines and a huge paragraph of text. It's very cheap, but they want $60 for it. I want to get that ahead of everything.
Okay.
It also, the demo crashed on me. I got locked up on a screen in the tutorial. So maybe not as well put together as it should be. I went through a lot of the tutorial stuff. It shows a bunch of different moves, and they've simplified moves a lot. Now all the special moves are just like hold R2 and then hit one of the three attack buttons, and those will each be different special moves. So you don't get much character depth there to begin with. And then it taught me how to do the auto combo. And the auto combo did half a health bar, and I was just basically immediately like, I don't want to play the game. That's too much. That there's basically no thought here. So yeah, that was disappointing.
Okay.
And the game looks just hideous. Like, this is a unbelievably bad looking 2D fighter if you haven't checked it out. It uses that technique where it's 3D characters on a 2D plane. And we've seen the same company make a really good looking one of those. They did the oh man, what is that? Dungeon Fighter? Yeah, they did the Dungeon Fighter one of these.
Yes, DFO? DNF.
DNF, okay.
DNF. How is it? It's DNF because that was their name elsewhere originally.
And this is not that. This is like really hideous and does not seem to play in an interesting way. Maybe I bet people will really get into some of the combos you can do, but it just doesn't feel good, and it doesn't feel like each character feels that unique. So I'm not excited. Yeah. I put a lot of time into the Neo 3 demo, though. That's only up for a limited time. This is the alpha test that they do for all the Neo games, basically. It has a lot of really neat ideas. They have moved to a kind of open world structure, but it's not like Rise of the Ronin. It kind of feels more like a Neo take on Elden Ring. This is a sort of Dark Souls-like area, but it has more flat ground and you have a map to go around it. And that's really neat. And they have open world like quest things like, oh yeah, clear out this bandit camp sort of stuff. But it doesn't feel like that's going to be most of the game like Rise of the Ronin was.
It's an open world? Is it like an open world-ish thing, or is it just like each level is as big and has a lot of things in it?
It feels like an open world-ish thing, but the map does not seem that big in general. Like, you can open up the map and see where you are, and it doesn't feel huge, so I assume there's just going to be multiple maps. Like, I think each chapter is going to be a pretty big map. And then it even has a feature kind of like old Neo games where when you go to a shrine, you can actually warp to a separate level and do a stage. It does that for the tutorials in this, but there's very much verbiage around it of like, yeah, there will be missions.
Yeah, this is where they put all those submissions like in the base game, and then my OCD says, beat him. Why'd you fucking buy the game if you're not going to do the content? Do all the fucking submissions. You cannot progress until you do every submission for this fucking level. Yeah. Why'd you buy the game if you're not going to do them, asshole? Do them. And I go, okay.
And it also has side missions that show up in the open world where it's like, oh, I found this thing on a corpse and it pointed me towards something else in another village. I don't know exactly how that's going to pan out because I didn't have time to go finish that. It also changes up the controls a lot, which I appreciate. I feel like the control scheme for Neo 1 and 2 are a little overcomplicated for how much actual stuff you can do. So now they've optimized it, like consolidated things in smart ways to make it make more sense. And you have two different modes. You have ninja mode and samurai mode. This used to be like a weird thing of like, okay, you can switch its weapon and a gun individually, and that's maybe too many button inputs. But now it's just one button. You can do it really quickly, and it switches your long range and short range weapon in your entire gear set. Which that does mean the gear equipment has doubled. Like, you have an entire set of armor for both ninja and samurai that you switch between. So it's very much like a Castlevania Portrait of Ruin, where you have 2 full characters of stuff. And I think that's really neat and a smart optimization of how you play the game. But that is a lot more equipping and a lot more dealing with, oh yeah, this game's constantly dropping loot. I'm going to have to swap out on 2 whole different sets of things now. That also lets them do interesting things. The samurai mode is very much like old Neo games. You do a combo, and then you have the R1 button does your key pulse, where you time it and you get a bunch of stamina back. The ninja mode doesn't have that at all. The ninja mode, instead, your stamina just runs out a lot more slowly, so you can play a lot more like a regular action game and just like hit the attack buttons and dodge. And instead of a key pulse, you hit the R1 button after attack, and it knocks you out of the animation and instantly lets you do a dodge. So it's a lot faster to get in and out of combat with that, and you can sort of like really get around enemies easily. And on top of them adding a jump button, which I'm a big fan of. I think that one of the worst parts of Dark Souls happening is jump buttons disappearing from action games entirely. But it's back, and there's like the ninja can do a jump off a dude and then get behind him, and it stuns him for a little bit. You have aerial attacks. It looks like there will be ground to air combos for the ninja, and you can jump as a samurai as well and just use it to like get around areas. It lets them make the areas more vertical, and that's really neat. And the ninja mode also has a thing where you can easily you just hold down R1, and on samurai mode that lets you switch between the main weapon in different stances like it does in the original Neo games. But in ninja, it lets you like show shuriken or use ninjutsu more easily. So you can just immediately have access to a whole different set of moves and spells instead of having to go through the various layers of menu navigation you would need to use these same things in old Neo games. It's a really cool optimization of all this stuff. I'm super excited to play the full version of this, and I definitely want to play more of this beta even, because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate we
How'd it
couldn't
run?
Terribly.
Yeah, that's why it's unfortunate we didn't get to try it on the PS5 Pro in time, because we put more time into Mario Kart.
Yes.
Yeah.
The game runs absolutely awfully. I've only tried it on performance mode, and it seems like it might not even hit 60 most of the time. I feel like I'm usually sitting in the 40s or 50s.
Which it's worth noting for people who don't remember this far back, which I imagine is a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
Neo 1 and 2's betas also ran like fucking shit because they didn't put time in to polish up the frame rate on a fucking beta.
Right, exactly. So there is a decent bit of hope. This game is very far out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is early next year at earliest.
Yeah, so could be
fine.
The
only ones that ran bad at launch was Rise of the Ronin, which is a huge open world thing, like even bigger than this.
Yeah, this is much smaller scale than that. That is like them trying to be Assassin's Creed. This is not that.
And Stranger of Paradise, which I feel like clearly was like we don't have fucking time. This needs to get out the door.
Yeah, that did feel like.
And I think eventually was patched into an acceptable state, like a year after it was out.
It was patched to be better. I don't think it was ever as good as like the Neo performance.
Yeah,
but it was okay.
But they can make Neo. They can make Neo run like those two. Like Neo 1 and 2 can run at 120 FPS on PS5.
Mm-hmm. And this has bigger areas, but it doesn't feel like that much bigger scale. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about it that's really stunningly different. I feel like if you don't like Souls games, this is the one give a shot. It feels less like a Souls game with each iteration, which is appreciated. And they're making Ninja Gaiden 4 as well, like they're assisting on it, so I don't have to be upset every time they announce something. Just like, where's my Ninja Gaiden?
It's so unbelievably fucked up that like nobody remembers Wolong exists. Like that got deleted from everybody's mind.
That did happen, yeah.
Every time someone brings this up, I go, no, it's Black Myth Wukong. Guys, what do we... Every time. And then I have to go.
That was the game that had the unbelievably terrible feeling counter, where you just kind of twirl your sword in front of you, and at some point that'll do something. Some of those frames are active.
Who was the publisher on Warlong?
That was, I think, Koei Tecmo still. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think.
Yeah, I think it was still Koei Tecmo, but they had like the marketing deal with Microsoft, and it was day one Game Pass.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Was that one of the ones that was like EGS exclusive as well, or is that?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember.
But yeah, it's cool to see that. Okay, you're not making Rise of the Ronin. Thank God.
Yeah, fucking you bought that game and you're like, oh, it's not that great. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll play it later in the year. And then we finally got the PS5 Pro. We booted up. I'm like, this is what this game is? None of the trailers at all left me with this impression. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, this game does have Neo 3 does have fully dubbed English
neat.
voices, which they
Okay.
did not do in the last one.
Okay. They didn't do it in one either. I assume.
In one, your main character speaks English, so
Right.
he does that.
Okay.
But no one else does.
I see. Okay.
So there's like that interesting dichotomy that works.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm worried.
Yeah, like
that-
it's impossible to be like Rise of the Ronin because that had the fucking Assassin's Creed. Your level's too low for this area, which I don't think Neo will do. It will let you get to an area when you're ready for it.
Oh yeah, no, its leveling structure is exactly like the other Neo games. Like it's the same thing of like you distribute your stats like a Dark Souls game. They affect the different weapons differently. It's not a bizarre mess in a huge area that Rise of the Ronin is. I am a little worried that maybe the areas will get too big and samey. I don't know. I have not played enough of the beta, and the beta is not big enough an area for me to make a definitive judgment on it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in there.
Can't be that big. They don't have that much fucking time. Like they couldn't have had this cooking that long with that many people. They just shipped Rise of the Ronin.
I know, right? I assume there just has to be two separate teams over there because they get games out really frequently from Team Ninja. Like it feels like every year we're getting something. Because they got Wolong, Rise of the Ronin, Neo 2, 1, 2 all out. I feel like we're missing one. I feel like there's one more game.
Stranger Paradise.
Yeah, Stranger of Paradise, yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other weirdness. Yeah, there's those open overworld quests. There's there's still collecting the little cute cat yokai and the little kappas and those upgrade your potions and whatnot. That's neat. You can now there's two different skill trees for samurai and ninja, so you find samurai like hairlocks and ninja hairlocks to unlock different abilities on each skill tree, and weapons are locked to the different different classes. So, the katana is only usable by the samurai, but the ninja has the dual katanas and the like Kasurigama and stuff. And it seems like we've changed the movesets enough between these to make them more distinct, even if some of them are weapons that you could use just all as one type before. So it's really interesting. I'm glad they took so many chances on this. That's all I gotta say about Neo 3. And I think that's everything I played.
That's everything?
Yeah, no, I didn't have that much time. We already talked about Hell Is Us.
This may surprise you, but it is Friday. This is what we're streaming on Friday.
Oh, I was wondering.
Yeah. We did basically all of the Switch coverage we're going to do, aside from, me doing the open international invitation of Beat Dan Video Games at Clubhouse Games, which obviously is a stream that's coming from us. We're going to be covering the Summer Games Fest for Summer Game Events for the rest of this weekend. Technically, those are a part of Summer Game Fest. It's on the schedule.
Yeah.
So please look forward to 11 a.m. Central Daylight Time tomorrow on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think noon Central Daylight Time the next day.
Yep.
If you're not in the GigaBoots fan Discord, you can, in fact, join that through a link in the description and get the @streams notification. Make sure you sign up for that role. And you will be there with us as we have to cover all of these things. Chris, as I understand it, you will also be there.
Yeah.
So that will be what you're streaming on Saturday.
Correct. And then the Saturday after, I will be streaming Mega Man X7.
Yippee.
Once I do that in 8, I will have streamed every single Mega Man game except for Extreme 2 and the Game Gear one.
The Game Gear
And
one's
Wily
hilarious.
Wars, if we want to count it.
So, with that said, I think it's time.
Big Apple, 3 a.m.
For the Pod Lords.
Oh, fuck.
Exciting. Sorry, I was asleep because of Jeff's show.
Boys. Yes, that's right. The Podlords. Podlords such as BN12, Red Blaze 27, Suzu Shiro, Rado, Wonderfont, Remastered Int, WTF Spider-Man, Mr. I Like Spam. The further from Japan these songs play, the faster the body spins. If we launch speakers into orbit, we'll power half the globe. Shiny Mew, as their work schedule is shifted back an hour right as we enter the summer of gaming. Wow. Shiny Mew has quite the stylish jacket. Wait, what's that name tag say? Chris C. The Juicifrost Corporation wishes you a very happy and profitable Pride Month. Cooper Take. The TAA Crocodile.
Oh, that was brutal.
It was funny as hell. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Indigo Sykes. So, who's excited for the Pippin 2? See, I got the joke. No one else on this podcast got the joke. That's why I'm important.
I mean, I know about the Apple Pippin, I just don't know how this is relevant to
Well,
it.
we covered it last week. They're prepping some big gaming initiative.
Oh my god.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, where the fuck is that?
I don't know.
They're gonna announce that at the fucking PC game show.
They'll probably announce it. I do not believe Apple would show up at the PC gaming show. 1, 2. I do believe they'll probably announce it at the WWDC, which is probably sometime soon. That's the Worldwide Developers Conference, which is Apple's summerly thing.
Oh.
Let's see, where am I? GG16 is super excited for the return of Sprint, Star of Providence Racing, and hopes more folks sign up. I have hired this raccoon to stare at you.
Is he okay?
I'm not going to blink first.
Yeah, now it's just awkward.
Saraline. Die the Death Bowl. Sentenced to Death Bowl. Great Equalizer is the Death Bowl.
Yeah. Is it
I'm out of my
ball
depth
or
on this
orb?
one.
I swear it's orb.
Death Ball? Because it sounds like Death's Bowl.
Yeah, I always think it's dis-orb. Although I guess it could also be bo.
I don't know. The Hard M. Bearded Joe. Pleochrome. Whoa, FGO players, the age regression servant be upon ye. What?
Is it Merlin?
No, that is not Merlin. Merlin is actually a guy.
What?
Bullshit.
I don't know who that is.
Call your lawyers, Chris. Wait a second. Where did it go? It's all the way at the end. Ignore all these images. There you go. The devs of Billy Bust Up have stolen your likeness and your pants.
Oh no!
I'm a little bit more blue than that.
Oh my god, getting back is going to be a worse nightmare.
Yeah, it is.
Here we go. The Keeley effect, ending number 911. Remember Keeley.
See, See,
weird.
I
He
would have
seems to be looking
horrifically
out a
edited
window.
that face onto.
Robert Pattinson's face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah.
Virmvarm. Francis Drake. Agro, do you have any comments?
Sick Parvis Magna, baby.
They should put Nightcrawler in the Marvel game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. True of it. No matter what Marvel game you want. Sure.
All of them, yeah. Different Dimension Orthros.
Huh.
The strongest Podlord bit of today. Nah, I'd pay $300 to spite promote a furry Metroidvania on a gaming podcast.
Oh, powerful.
Oh, wait. Strongest Podlord bit of today. Yee. There was an I at the end. I should have pronounced it more. Cryptid Bird. Digital Basic.
Oh no, it's back.
Are you bothered? Are you beaver bothered?
No.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Xeon, Forma de Primer Plano. And Vada Huff. Thank you very much to our pop lords.
Thank you, Pod Lords.
Thank you, Pod Lords. And if you'd like to become a Pod Lord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcasts. For as little as $5 a month, you get many benefits such as long-term early access to Chugging Bleach, and also probably early access to some other shit we're going to get going here. We may have already even recorded some of it. You get extended content for things such as gamer premonitions and armchair devs. You can learn all about young Keeley. You get an entire movie called Isolation 119, a full feature-length film about a man going to Thailand for a tax write-off on his vacation to Thailand. And other benefits. That's patreon.com/gbpodcasts. If you don't have any money, it always helps me immensely to spread the word, tell your friends, show up on Thursdays, rate us on your podcasting app of choice, and leave a comment and subscribe on YouTube if you listen that way, especially to Armchair Devs. Patreon.com/gbpodcasts.
I guess I'm looking at this. I'm thinking about this. I think we've got news. Is that right?
We do.
Yeah, let's.
But before that,
Uh-huh.
that FGO character was apparently Morgan Le Fay. I was real fucking close.
Okay. I knew they were related to the Camelot shit. I just did not know who specifically they were.
Well, let me just look over here. Oh, nothing's on fire. Well, that's good. It'd be kind of weird to have a fire in an aquarium. It feels like pretty
it's
easy
the last
to put
place they would expect.
out. Oh, the best crime possible. You know what? I'm gonna say we don't need to start a fire or talk about anything that
Okay.
might be a fire.
No, we have to do that.
Oh, damn.
We don't need the fire though. We can accept the inevitability. Oh, it's too late.
It's too late. We're just already at
Industry burning down block. People Can Fly cancels Square Enix published Project Gemini. This is a result of Square Enix being uncommunicative, which seems to just be them being left on red. Like your publisher just not returning your calls for so long you have to cancel a project.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounded really bad.
That's crazy.
I mean, isn't that
because of
kind of
this-
what we heard about Square Enix dealing with Western devs? Is the, yeah,
or
just
even
do it.
external
Do
games.
your
It sounded
thing.
like most of the things that shipped at the end of the 1 year when they stacked them all on top of each other, that was them talking about like in
Right,
Babylon's Fall and other things that sounded like they just gave them rope and then at the last second went, "You made Balan what?"
That is explicitly like the CEO at the time was like, well, we want to stay out of the way of our external devs. We let the chef cook the food and show up at the end to taste it. It's like, okay, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't do that. You should have a little bit of supervision. Imagine if Nintendo just like, make Metroid Dread Mercury Steam. We'll be back in 3 years.
Yeah, and it sounds like this time, instead of like it's being done, it's like, hey, we need more money, and they're like, nothing.
I texted them, and all I got back was a picture of Anakin Skywalker's face.
Because of this loss of cash flow, they've also canceled their self-published VR game project Bifrost. There will be layoffs, so that's pretty awful. Tim Sweeney showed up at Epic's fucking Unreal Engine AI slop fest, where they basically had a slightly more advanced version of, I hear there is some crime in this city. I hear there is crime at the docks. They're really pushing this shit. God, we're gonna have to endure the console gen where every console has this shit shoved in it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, it's getting real.
And it may in fact be the last console gen for both Xbox and Sony. Because I think it's gonna go bad. I think it's gonna go real bad.
It does feel like we're careening towards that. This is their idea of progress, and it just simply is not progress in anyone's mind.
Yeah, and even like EA and Take-Two are like, we shouldn't do anything with AI because everybody fucking hates it, and game consumers will actually fucking ditch us. They will actually not buy our shit if we're using AI. They actually do that. So this is insane. Last week, EA canceled their AAA Black Panther game and shut down the studio that makes it. They still have to make a Marvel game. Because the contract they signed with Disney was for 3 games.
Yeah.
So they still, and presumably AAA ones, because I can't imagine that they can somehow weasel out by shipping a phone game.
Right, I was going
Right.
to say, does it stipulate the scale?
This contract, like in retrospect, might be seen as the thing that killed EA.
It could.
Because those like they only have 1 announced. We only know that they're making 1 right now, so that's 2 more. That's 2 games that have to go well.
What? Which one is announced?
Motive is making Motive, the devs of the Dead Space remake, are making an Iron Man game.
Yeah.
Oh, I completely
We
forgot.
haven't seen it.
Yeah.
We have, like, who knows how it's going, but they're making it. So,
Gone
there
great.
might not be any Ubisoft at these game events because they kind of want to stay out of the news right now, since 3 of their ex-executives are being prosecuted, like criminally prosecuted, for sexual harassment in France.
Oh.
Those 3 are the deliberations have already ended. I believe they ended today, probably while we were doing this podcast. Thomas Francois, former Ubisoft editorial vice president, Sergey, I don't know how to pronounce that, Hasquet.
I'll fall on this sword. Hasquet. I don't know. Hasquet.
Former creative director, and Guillaume Patrux, former game director, are accused. They broadly deny all allegations, except they did that thing that when you know somebody's full of shit, we're like, well, that one's true, but all the rest are lies. Because they think that makes them more credible. The attorney for the victims is like, I've never seen a situation this bad. Suspended prison sentences and fines sought for all 3. And lastly, Ectra Games, the development studio behind Torchlight 3, who were working on an unannounced cross-platform action RPG, has been closed.
Oh.
Around 60 jobs lost. They never even got to announce or tease their game. I think they got bought by Zynga in like 2021.
Oh my god.
Oh, right. And there's something about how Torchlight 3 became a mess immediately.
Yes. Who were they owned by? I don't remember. But I think it's Zynga. I think that is right. Yeah, it was acquired by Zynga in 2021 for an undisclosed sum. And then they immediately burnt them to the ground.
Consolidation.
Yay.
Is there... Like, it feels like... how long before it starts happening to the studios Microsoft bought? Because it already is kind of happening to Bethesda. Like Starfield. But Starfield probably wouldn't have been any better had they not been acquired by Microsoft.
Somebody was talking about there's some rumors of layoffs at Microsoft and the Xbox division's going to get the larger part, but you know, that's 24/7 at Microsoft. We'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Give it a week and it'll probably be in the news of real. Yippee! Tom Warren said that. Oh, then it's fucking guaranteed.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Ugh.
Tom Warren's takes are bad, but his info's good. They're making it portable. What's that? They are not making a portable. Except for that's like a 9-month span. They are no longer running.
Yeah, Tom Warren also said, like, Microsoft not just firing everybody they're going to fire at once has made morale company-wide crater.
Oh yeah,
of
no,
course. That's how that works.
Every corporation doing this is literally making every employee everywhere go, well, why am I trying? I'm going to be fucking fired in a few months.
Mm-hmm.
We're done though, right? We can escape.
Yeah, that's all.
Thank God. Put out the fires. I didn't fucking start it. Let's go. Okay. Let's just I don't have any news. Aggro doesn't have any news. Bob, go.
Sure. I guess I'll do my kind of bad one that wasn't quite like industry burning down tier. Tatsuya Kondo is leaving Square Enix. He's the director of The World Ends With You. He was creative series lead on the newer one, Neo World Ends With You, and he worked on a few other like mobile games and stuff in interim.
So they just keep getting rid of everyone who doesn't direct a AAA game.
Yeah.
Because it also
Yeah,
happened
it's
to the Hard to Sell
crazy.
dude.
Yeah. No, that's worrying, and it says, I think their Twitter post says that it's for personal reasons, but I think that that's just, auto translate making a something out of a vaguer statement. Mm-hmm. And it sounded like he wants to stay in the industry. So not looking great on Square for that.
The exact phrasing in Japanese was, personally, I would rather stay elsewhere. Fuck.
Yeah, we'll see if he ends up somewhere else or if like he's sick or something. Who knows?
Yeah. So yeah, he was at Square
or
for
it's just
29
like
years.
all we're gonna make is AAA games, or they just canceled everything he was working on and it's like, well, I guess I'll go.
Wow, 29 years. That puts him in the PS1 era at Square. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the first game he was a character animator on Final Fantasy VII.
Mm-hmm.
And modeled monsters in Parasite Eve.
Someone in chat says, finally, time for Saga to save the company. You know what? You got propped up a lot, Saga. It's time to pay up.
Yeah.
Time to save the company.
Make your AAA Saga game. Make
your AAA Saga game. You got to get
all those Saga games, all those Saga games, Riku. That's more than you can say about a lot of shit Square Enix puts out.
No, it's got to save the entire company. We're putting all of our chips on Saga. It's time to shine. I really enjoyed the Big Thing comment we got months ago, where it was like, what was it? The Saga franchise is the biggest psyop in the game industry. Because they're like, yeah, we're putting our backing behind this fiscally responsible, incredibly cult hit, Romancing Saga 2 remake. And I'm like, woo! And then everyone else is like, another Saga game? Again? 2 in 1 year? Okay.
So yeah, things looking worse and worse for Square frequently. We didn't see them at the showcase today. That's fine though. That's fine.
No, we saw a game from Square.
That's true. We
today.
saw a Square published game that I guess that they answered the phone for. Giant Skull, which is a new studio made by Stiga Musen. We heard about it last year. Stiga Musen, God of War 3 director, Star Wars Jedi series director. They're working on a Dungeons and Dragon game with Wizards of the Coast.
Fucking good. He could make a great one.
He could.
Clearly, he made God of War 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could make a cool thing using the lore and IP and shit of God of War or D&D for certain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully that turns out well. As always with these AAA studios that form out of the ether.
I'm sorry. Has there been a single one of these where they got out of pre-production and weren't just shut down?
Sure,
Has there been one?
Recently? 1 second. Let me think. Like recently, as of the past 5 years? Can I get 6 years? Can I include Immortals of Avium? Because I think that studio was founded around 2019, so I could just barely be like, they shipped the game! They shipped the game!
All right, we can give you Immortals of Avium.
Yes, that's it. I'm out.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Amy Hennig game needs to actually ship, or else there's just nothing.
They're gonna bring Amy Hennig onto this.
Oh no!
Like, and Hasbro is so brain dead. Like, I have no faith this is going to reach the finish line. They're going to show up. Why does your production document for this AAA single player game not have enough monetization? We're not going to let you make this. You're shut down.
Tango Gameworks office is reopening, and they are recruiting new staff for an unannounced action game. Cool.
Awesome. I wonder if it's some sort of Hi-Fi Rush 2.
No way. That'd be so far out of left field. They would never just do Hi-Fi Rush 2.
It's not like somebody specifically said, we have the rights to Hi-Fi Rush. We're saved.
We're doing the Hi-Fi Rush 2.
No one said that, right?
No one. Shift Up, which are the people who made
Stellar Blade
and Nikkei. They announced a new project. Well, they announced a new name for an old project. It was formerly called Project Witches. Now it's called Project Spirits.
Yo, spirits and witches? They're going to get drunk? There are drunk witches in this game? This is going to sell more than fucking Switch 1.
I mean, look at the art they put out if you want to see how well it's going to sell.
One moment.
It embraces themes of Eastern fantasy, and it's scheduled for 2027, so they're doing it.
Yeah, they're sure shoving out games.
They're just like, we're going to make games that are AAA and pretty easy to get through. It's like, okay, yeah, we can make our 20-hour game.
I'm glad that it seems to be a lot of people are moving towards that, because that also seems to be what James Bond is.
Right.
I just want to make sure the audience is up to speed on how this looks. Oh, that's the tiniest image in the world, but I think you get the idea.
Right.
I think you get the idea. I think our viewers get the idea. Whoa! Big. Anyways, Eltriox's voice clip on his channel has ruined me.
And that's all the news I got.
Oh, okay. Hey, Chris, let's head on over to Chris.
Okay. So Black Myth Wukong launches for Xbox Series on August 20th. We can finally stop hearing about the fake exclusivity deal, which was never fucking real. Because what's the point of an exclusivity deal that is secret?
Yeah. It couldn't be that Series S is just not powerful enough. It couldn't be that.
I eagerly await the Digital Foundry video on it.
It would be so funny if they just didn't do it. That would be fucking
I
obvious. That would be transparent.
I would show up in their replies like a fucking SMT enemy. Like, what? You covered it so much? You love all this dog shit Unreal shit? Play it. Play the Series S version right fucking now.
It just starts playing the demon dialogue theme.
This makes me are Xbox Series consoles in China?
I actually don't know. Does
I
anyone
don't think
in chat?
so.
Okay.
I don't think so. So this is going to sell literally zero.
Right.
And the devs are going to be like, everybody cried so fucking much, but nobody bought it. It's like, yeah, Xbox players don't buy games. Except Call of Duty. That is the one game Xbox players buy, as we found out because it took until last year for PlayStation to have more.
God.
That's so insane. Ugh. I'm sure there's a huge overlap between people who play every yearly Madden, Call of Duty, and Black Myth Wukong.
Yes, enormous untapped market here.
That's just a circle, baby. Nice Venn diagram.
You know what's great?
What?
Truxton.
Truxton
You know
is
what might
really
be better?
Good. What's that?
Truxton Extreme.
That sounds extremely good.
Truxton Extreme has added a PC version and has a demo June 10th to 17th. Because you can never have too much Truxton.
Truxton.
How many people are like, what the fuck are they talking about? Why do they do that voice whenever this game comes up?
Doesn't matter. That's our Truxton voice. Get used to it.
So is this a new Truxton game or an enhanced old Truxton game?
I don't know, actually.
I think it's like a remake. I don't know. One moment. All I know is it's Truxton.
Truxton Extreme.
Oh, this looks. One moment. What the fuck is let's see. Mm-hmm.
We have the Streams Truxton one to lead up to this.
Oh, it's true.
And lastly, some GameStops destroyed Switch 2s by stapling the receipt to the box and the staple went through the screen.
Why would you do this?
Hey, Bob, you worked 13 years at GameStop?
I would never staple anything to a console box. That's stupid. I feel bad putting the sticker on it.
You just
luckily they had enough.
Switch.
They seem to have had enough stock to replace them.
And you just slowly lift up the nail gun. 1 second. We want to make sure your receipt stays with it.
I assume this was one store that they are the most called out of anyone has ever
imagine
been.
you live in that town.
Right?
Oh, yeah. You could never work at that GameStop. You could never enter that GameStop without anyone ever bringing it up every single time.
Right, it'll become the Paltoes, but for that one GameStop.
Yeah,
Walk
like,
into a room,
I feel
people
so
loudly
bad for
sliding
them.
staplers off the desk.
Like somebody's like they're gonna like every time somebody comes and be like, I'll take this. Don't staple it though. I'll just take it.
They're like, I'm gonna do it this time. I'm so tired of my job. I gotta do it. God.
But that's all our news that isn't events.
So
We got
into-
events.
We had a lot of events, and weirdly enough, the State of Play may have been the best State of Play ever made.
It might have. This
Absolutely
was insane.
crazy.
It was
Now-
real damn good.
Coincidentally, totally, didn't have real Sony presence. Just had
how'd that
seconds of Ghost of Yotei, and then said, "Come back next month for more Ghost of Yotei." And that was the only thing, right? Well,
Yeah,
they
it's,
funded a game's development,
They did.
and they clearly caused that, but we'll get to that at the very end. Let's get through it. They announced a new Lumines, or Luminous, if you prefer.
Looks cool.
Hell
oh my
yeah, it does. It looks
God.
fucking
It's
insane.
been so long, and we didn't even have to wait for the PSP 5 or whatever.
They should name it that.
Yes.
They should name it PSP 5 or PS5P.
Is this a Persona sequel?
God.
I
Absolutely incorrect. They're calling it the V2.
Oh no.
They don't want it to sell even one.
They call it the V2 because they sold V2. They sold 2 of them. That's it. Yeah, it looks amazing. Luminous Alive.
When you see it, you V2 and go walk the other way.
You V trigger and dash back.
Pragmata is alive.
Woo!
You got the shoulder girl, the shoulder mounted child.
Yes.
And you do space third person shooting. It looks dope.
It does look pretty cool. I hope that our main character's suit looks cooler through the game. Like, I hope that's the basic and we're going to upgrade it like in Samus situation or something.
2026.
Yeah.
And the main character totally isn't Troy Baker.
Yeah, we don't know yet. It's not
don't
going
know.
to confirm.
Probably late 2026 because they want to get it away from RE9.
I popped the fuck off. Romeo is a dead man. It's a new Suda 51 game, bro.
Cool.
Yeah, what the heck?
We were so scared he got killed by the Tencent guy being brain dead. The Tencent CEO being brain dead. But it looks like he managed to survive, and maybe there's a new villain that is the CEO of Tencent in that game.
They hung on that table just long enough, and that's when my brain went, this is a misdirect tone. Something brutally savage is going to happen in a second because this is Suda 51, and he goes to the door. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I started putting together what this art style was, I was like, oh, this has to be.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good, guys. It looks so fucking good. I'm so happy I need to do another playthrough of No More Heroes 3. Yes, Dead Man's from the Pixel game inside of No More Heroes 3. So I need to do another playthrough.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Jesus.
So I need to do another playthrough of No More Heroes 3.
Which ran okay on the Switch too, except for the open world. That was unacceptable.
Yeah, weirdly enough, guys, the open world was capped at 30 and the levels were unlocked. So those run perfectly at 60, but the open world's 30 frames per second. So I'll be on PS5 still.
It's Deathman in No More Heroes 3, so I have
Completely
no
different.
idea. I have no idea where it's gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
Silent Hill F. That looked good.
It's a real.
Yeah.
You have the bonk, so it's a real Silent Hill game.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
September 25th.
Yeah, that's actually got a date. That's kind of
And
crazy.
it's 2 months before Halloween.
One.
Well, 1 month.
Oh, right, one. Sorry. If only they kept the October and the Oct month of 8.
I know.
Then it would be so much easier.
It
for me
would,
to-
wouldn't it?
Especially while deep fried from staying up playing too much Mario Kart and streaming 100 hours in a single week. But yeah, no, that looks exceptional. I'm very excited. Bloodstained: The Scarlet Engagement.
It's real. It's been gone for so long. I was scared.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I forgot that it was going to exist. Jonathan, Scarlet, Charlotte, Jonathan, Charlotte.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yup. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was
double
Castlevania
rider
when it first
kick
went
dual
out.
crush is real strong.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Where
Like
was
that
this?
dude at the start of the trailer looks so much like a Simon Belmont in modern era would be designed, I think.
He did, and it's weird the fidelity difference between the game and those cutscenes. Those cutscenes are not something I expected.
They're like
in a video
Unreal
game.
Engine, real high-end cutscenes, and then the game looks like Bloodstained but higher spec.
Right. Just,
This is such a wild timeline where the same thing as y'all was like, is this? Oh my God, are we making a Castlevania game? This looks kind of Castlevania. That looks kind of Castlevania. This is how Castlevania enemies act, but that's not the Castlevania enemy that does that. Oh my God, it's Bloodstained.
Yep. It's fucking exciting as shit. Comes out next year. Bob, however, pointed out there might be a problem with the game for some people. Bob, would you like to explain? It's a very advanced concept, so please listen closely to the words Bob is saying.
so I've noticed from people who like Bloodstained.
Yes,
that
some people.
some of them seem to like it because you play as a pretty lady. And in this game, you do not play as a pretty lady. You play as two pretty boys, which I'm okay with. I have nothing
I am
against
also
that.
very okay with this.
I'm excited for this game extremely.
Wait.
This might
wait.
break it for some people.
I'm being 100% serious. One of those wasn't a lady.
I thought...
We went through the same thing.
Right. I also thought the white-haired one was a lady, but I don't think so anymore.
Actually, I'm a boy. Plankton scream. 2026, I'm very excited. If you can't handle me at my 2 tweets, you don't deserve me at my Miriam.
Right. Exactly.
yeah.
I also found out on Twitter, Curry the Kid is there and mentioned that he wrote the scenario for this, and the first time he's done that since Ecclesia.
Which would be the last of the Igavanias made under Konami. So that's...
That makes sense as to why that scenario seemed pretty Ecclesia.
We were saying the same thing, and I was like, that makes sense, because I was trying to figure out what the scope of the game was from the trailer, and I'm like, what? Wait, so are we starting in the castle? You explaining a game that doesn't take place in a castle exclusively to a Bloodstained fan? I don't understand. So, like, the castle's really big. What are you trying to describe it? But yeah, obviously there's like the sort of hints that it would be in even bigger scale. I'm so fucking excited.
I wonder if it's going to have, like, 2-player. Because of this dual system. It could.
Because they seem to be out. Hell yeah, we out. Anyway, Digimon Story Time Stranger. Weirdly enough, Time Stranger, one word, I think. Officially.
I think it's funnier to call it Digimon Story Time. Stranger.
Digi Story Time Stranger. No, there's a comma.
Right.
It's Digimon Story Time Stranger. The franchise continues to be more SMT-like. It actually has a budget, 2025. I know a lot of people are excited for this. It is $70.
Yeah.
At least it looks remotely like it deserves
Right.
that.
It looks,
even remotely.
it looks significantly...
higher end than any other Digimon game.
Yes. I was going to say, just that little bit above. Tokyo Mirage Sessions. It needs to be.
Final Fantasy Tactics is finally getting that port. Coming home for Christmas.
Yeah, I need to go watch that trailer again. I want to see exactly what the sprites, what their deal is.
So okay, I can explain it based on seeing it there. Basically, the underlying sprite looks like it's been upscaled in a certain way. And then they've composited, for some reason, a dither pattern that matches one-to-one with how the PS1 did its dither for in-between colors. It's a really weird thing, and I've never fucking seen that done in my life. I don't know why that is. It currently sounds like you can play it with that, with new gameplay changes and new, like, redone story, or you can play just the original goddamn game. With a weird vignette on it. Why did they do that?
I don't know.
The original will also, like, both have the... I think the original will have the PSP script, so it will not be the PS1 script.
Okay, so it's PSP.
Yeah, it will have the War of the Lions script, but apparently not any of the tweaks they made to the numbers in War of the Lions.
Weird.
Weird,
The
yeah.
really important thing, how fast do the summons and things go?
Yes.
Does it do the slowdown like the PS1, PSP, or is it fast like iOS?
Right.
Anyways, hey, yo, check this out.
And they did add voice acting.
Yes.
People get to play this game now on modern systems. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the people who post those obviously fake screen caps of Final Fantasy Tactics of them saying things like "never trust police" can actually play the game.
Yeah, you're like, oh wow, they didn't say that, but I mean, he still kind of said that.
Yes. that game still says stuff.
So actually
like
play
that.
it.
Aggro wasn't there for our live stream and they showed baby steps. This is a worst case scenario for me because I have to look at baby steps and Aggro is here to also look at baby steps while I have to look at baby steps.
This was the best Baby Steps trailer I've ever seen because I didn't have to watch it where Dan could watch me suffer. I got to watch Dan suffer from me not being there during the Baby Steps trailer.
Can they fucking ship this already?
What is this, year 3 of us seeing it at the summer games?
They
stuff?
didn't even put it in
I'm
the
not sure I've
developer
quite
thing.
grasped the concept yet. I need them to explain it with another trailer.
It's QWOP.
It's got a death loop.
I was going to say, so you're saying
It's
there's
coming
some
out.
sort of
It does
death
have a
loop.
release date. It's September 8th.
Okay.
Good.
End is in sight.
But that's still after Gamescom. Push it forward a couple months, please.
Just push it forward 3 weeks and we're
Yes.
fine. Cairn was shown.
You climb.
It's the wall
yeah,
climbing thing,
that was the other thing where you move individual limbs and it's real goofy.
Hirogami was shown. It's a papercraft platformer adventure game. Sort of origami papercraft stylings. It's very cool. It reminded me and Bob of Tearaway.
Yup.
Yeah.
It's made by Bandai Namco Singapore. It is bizarrely not published by Bandai Namco. It is out September 3rd.
I'm super
Like maybe
curious.
the console
Cool.
versions are published by Bamco, but on Steam it's published by Kakahashi Games, and I have no idea who that is.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden Ragebound had a trailer. Old composers returning for tracks, which I assume implies Yuzo Koshiro.
Oh, I didn't even think about that he would have done the old
Yeah,
the
I
old
think
ones.
he worked on it. We'll see. I don't know if they publish a list somewhere of who's coming back. This is July 31st. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I apparently need to beat the old Ninja Gaidens. Oh no.
Yep, you're going to have to do it, and chat gets to watch. Mortal Kombat Legacy, which is a Digital Eclipse project that has Mortal Kombat 1 through 4 and various portable versions of them. So Game Boy Game Gear is coming out. It has online play, tons of behind-the-scenes footage, rollback versions of Mortal Kombat 4, and it's out 2025. You buy this sort of thing for the extras.
Yeah, because Digital Eclipse usually has pretty bad input lag. But hey, this extra stuff is always really good.
I got a text from Handsome Joe. I replied to him, and apparently when I put down the phone, I hit the voice-to-text option, and it has written into this tiny messenger field every news story I've read since Hirogami, but mistranslated into Keto-gami, which is the god of keto, in case you
Obviously.
didn't know. Should I just hit send? Should I?
I don't think you should do that.
I think
that
he
Joe would
wants
be
to
very
know
confused.
about how this game's like tar away. It made it one word. Is that a noun? Hit send. I'm seeing people say I should hit send. I'm gonna do that. Okay, there you go, Joe. Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoy that. Bob, do you have thoughts on Mortal Kombat Legacy?
Only the ones I've already said of, yeah, those behind the scenes things are really cool. I'm excited to see them. I probably won't even touch the games. I might see how 4 works. I might check out 4.
That might be the way to play 4.
It might be.
It might be.
I wonder how many versions of 4 they have.
I don't know. It would be funny if they had them all.
Right?
The important thing is that we have the endings. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, those endings are incredible.
Especially every time a character gets cold cocked by someone just out of frame.
Yes!
Like fucking Quan Chi's like, and Sub-Zero or whatever. It's like, and then Scorpion just goes, It's real good. It's real good. Those endings are spectacular.
Then Quan Chi's just crippled on the ground doing like, no, how dare you do this to me?
It's funny how many Family Guy death poses show up in those endings too. Sony made a wireless fight stick.
It is apparently you can plug it in and use it like that. I did check.
Okay. Hopefully the polling rate for USB is a respectable 1,000 hertz or higher.
Right.
This is a fighting stick. It needs to be good or you made dogshit.jpg.
Right.
Metal Gear Solid Delta showed an extended clip of gameplay on the PS5 Professional and still looks like a goddamn joke. It had so much TA. It had the Gator TA. That was insane, but it was like blurry and melty and did not look impressive basically everywhere else. This thing looks immaculate in cutscenes and pretty bad outside of that.
It's all you to sell the game.
Pretty depressing, but hey, they implied that the online mode will be there.
Oh,
there was
cool.
a tease for that. It has the Ape Escape stuff too. So
Yeah.
And that collection is fine now. They patched it to be fine, so who cares? I still care a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but
this is probably going to be $70.
Probably is. They did add new animations for Snake holding the monkeys after he captures them.
Yeah, which is funny. He poses.
Yeah.
That's August 28th.
yeah, it's $70. Like it's already up for pre-order. It's $70.
Wow. Neo 3. That's out 2026. There's a demo out now. Bigger game, bigger areas. Bob played it. He talked about it.
Yeah.
They made a Thief VR game.
Neat.
It's coming out by the end of the year. Looks cool as shit. I really
You
want
don't
to
play
that.
as Garrett, but at the end she grabs a thing and it glows and then cuts away and you hear Garrett's voice. So maybe this is a lead into them making a new Thief game,
Maybe.
like a real one, because VR isn't real, doesn't count.
I don't know. That Batman game last year was pretty real. Me and Commissioner Gordon got it close. Tides of Tomorrow, a game set in a flooded world. You deal with the consequences of other people's actions because it's asymmetric and you influence how things work for them.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see how this game actually plays. This is a fascinating idea.
It's out February 2026. Astrobot's getting 5 more levels next month. They showed one of the characters you get. It
was
goes to
Yote.
Yote. Dun, 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 dun. My washing machine is done, so it sings a whole song that is classic music, so no royalties are done. Be-do-do-do-do-do. Anyway, Sea of Remnants. So it's an amazing looking turn-based RPG pirate game. It has ship battles, seemingly open world. Apparently it's also gotcha slap. Who the fucking knows? It's made by the Identity V devs. I have no takes on this anymore.
It's,
You're right,
it's not even a who knows because it's like it has a phone version, so it's gotcha slop. It's a Genshin like.
I'm just saying, I have no idea how this is going to go at all. Like, I don't know anything about the Identity V devs. It is a gotcha, so a lot of people are heartbroken. That was a really cool moment in there until...
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sword of the Sea is coming to PlayStation Plus Fucky Wucky, which is what's written in the document, and I'm fucking reading it. It's by the devs of Abzu and Pathless. It is out August 19th.
Looked very neat. Like, it looks way closer to Journey than the last couple games.
Mm-hmm. Like it opens on shifting sand from the developers of Journey. You don't fucking
You don't
say.
fucking
Right?
say. PlayStation Plus Classic Catalog is adding Deus Ex for the PS2.
Why?
Cool.
Why?
That's the way you want to play it.
Nobody's ever going to play that version of the game except Dan.
Damn it! Oh,
Yeah, I was like, I think we're obligated to.
I mean, you're not wrong. They also announced Twisted Metal 3 and 4 coming to classics, and it's like, that's just.
I mean, you might as well get them on there, but don't advertise it.
Which are the good ones? I know nothing about Twisted Metal.
Okay, so
just
1 and 2
Okay.
are the good ones on the PS1. Small Brawl might be fine. Then you go to the PS2. The PS2 has Black, and Black's great. That's the only one that shipped. It has an online mode that shipped later. The PSP one has Twisted Metal head-on, and that's good. And the PS3 one has the game just called Twisted Metal. And it's good in some ways and kind of really disappointing in others. It turns out it was a multiplayer-only game, and Sony forced them to put a single player in pretty late in development so they could charge $60 for it. Thanks, Sony.
Yep.
They're also adding the PS1 versions of Resident Evil 1 and 2, 2 and 3 to PlayStation Plus catalogs. That's great. Thank you. Make those more available. Reminder, you do not need PlayStation Plus to get a lot of these nowadays. You can just buy them.
Right.
They stopped doing that because they realized what a fucking mistake it was. IO Interactive showed off 007 First Light, which has what many are saying is Tom Cruise, and what one is saying is Nathan Drake, and what many are agreeing is somewhere in between. It doesn't look like Hitman. It looks like a third-person shooter where you shoot shit.
Right?
Yeah,
I don't know if they can make one of
barely
those or
shown
not.
gameplay, so.
But I assume right now they have shown more because they did the IO Interactive event.
And some parts
that's true.
of that were gameplay.
Yeah. Some of that was
showed Bond
gameplay.
shooting barrels and people and all sorts of shit.
Right.
It does just look like a third-person shooter made for Bond, so that's cool. It's apparently a prequel. It comes out next year.
I'm just glad that he does not look like Daniel Craig. I want this to be its own thing. Thank God it is.
Yeah, thank God it is. Ghost Yote, remember that? Okay, this part's done. There's a state of play next month for that. And then the final reveal, and this is actually the final two things are the only things that are very, very much squarely Sony's responsibility. Ghost Yote, and then Marvel Tokon. Fighting Souls. It's a Marvel game made by Arxis. Apparently, the director of Xrd is working on this, not the director of Strive. Whew. It's a 4v4 hyper fighter. Trailer's not even dubbed, and it has anime stylings. And they literally were like, "You need to make it more anime. Stop trying to make your thing look like what you think we want." Mm-hmm. Sony apparently was the impetus for this, the catalyst for this. They approached Arxis and said, "Yo, Marvel needs games. You want to make an Arxis fucking fighter for Marvel?" And that's wild.
Yeah,
That's a level of competency you do not believe existed within Sony.
No. God, that's also just like, oh man, it feels like Capcom maybe was a little cucked in the situation. Just a little bit.
You think someone maybe drew that on Blue Sky or something?
So bizarrely, there was a leak last year that had this in it, and also all of the season 2 and 3 Street Fighter characters that say that Marvel vs. Capcom 5 also exists.
What? Wow.
Marvel going
And
that
it also says that after Marvel vs. Capcom 5, they are going to make that they're planning to do Capcom vs. SNK 3.
Jesus Christ.
if SNK exists in the next 5 years.
To put it bluntly, I doubt it, but that was a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else in it was right.
Yeah, at a certain point, you got to look at it like that fucking 4chan, I think it was, leak about Pokemon, where it was just like, oh shit.
Right. Yeah, no, if enough things have come out.
You gotta trust it.
You can never trust things entirely because companies do lie to try and find who's leaking shit.
And there is always the potential of someone being goofy and being like, well, I got this real stuff, I'm gonna put this on my own just to
there's
a little
always
mischief.
That.
Yeah, it's a little mischief.
That's coming out PS5 and PC next year. Hey, you know what's cool? On PC, you don't have to pay for PlayStation Plus in order to play online. Just a
Yeah.
random thought.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Just thought I'd point that out. That's weird. I'm looking at our guys. I'm looking at our document, and the synopsis ends at a Summer Game Fest. There was so much stuff showed at the Devolver thing, and we seem to have missed it entirely. This is. Oh boy. Well, I hope I remember when we get there what all happened at the Devolver thing. Let's get through Summer Game Fest though. Mortal Shell 2. It has guns. Did the first one have guns? I don't remember guns.
I don't think so. The first one seemed very, very strictly Dark Souls 1. Like they didn't want to go anywhere past that.
Yeah.
Fortnite will have the Death Star.
ATST.
Death Stranding 2 on the beach
ATST.
has people in it, and they act in cutscenes.
Oh my god, really?
It did not spoil the entire game.
That's for Sunday, apparently.
This is bad. I don't remember this game based on the name that's written here. in
Yeah,
the
that's a lot.
document.
That's a lot. How this fucking show went, huh?
Chronicles Medieval. Tom Hardy's involved sandbox game.
Yeah, this was
Yeah, it's
that
the one with
CG with the knights.
Oh, at the end
Yeah.
was the him on the hillside. And
Might be Bladestorm.
maybe.
That was that one? I thought that was later in the show, but yeah, no, they're like, here's
Nope,
the real
that's it.
gameplay horse.
Horse. We're not going to even
I don't
move.
know if these are exactly in order. I always try to find like a live
No,
blog.
that's fine. That's fine. It was shuffled in the order and my brain went, no, that can't. So it's something else. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is going to have free DLC across multiple waves of Miku Hasune, Ichiban Kasuga, and Joker. And then paid DLC for Steve from Minecraft. And it also has 2 other characters from Minecraft. It's Steve, Alex, and a third thing.
I can simply
can't
not
remember.
pay for Steve. Incredible.
Incredible.
That's so great.
I don't want to hear about his flint or his steel.
And yet, you so often bring it up curious. Code Vein 2.
It looks cool. Looks a little bit more action focused, like normal action game than Dark Souls than the first one. It better have as good a character creator, because that's the most impressive thing in Code Vein 1.
I feel like there's no way to give that up. Like that's the whole point. That you get to make your anime waifu or husbando.
If they do not have that, I will not buy this game. Otherwise, I will buy it day 1. Or day, it's $60 or less.
I wonder if they'll do a beta like they did for the first one.
Oh yeah, I forgot they did a beta.
End of Abyss. It's an isometric action game. Anyone say anything else about it, please?
It was blue, I think.
Was this the Guacamelee one?
I
No.
believe so.
No.
Oh, was it
No.
Drinkbox one? I thought that was
No. Okay.
elsewhere.
No, it is not the drink
Okay.
box
Yeah,
one.
that's like this
Okay.
is too early for that, but I just want to check.
Moving on, Mouse, PI for Hire is going to have Troy Baker as the main character. Congrats. Big Think Poison people.
Yes, but we did it. We got him in another one.
Send your Mouse Troy Bakers in next week.
End of Abyss was the Little Nightmares one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There we go. There we go.
That looked pretty neat, honestly.
Yeah, that did look really neat. Game of Thrones War for Westeros is an RT.
The HDR wasn't set right, I don't think, and it was dark, so everyone fell asleep.
And Netflix's bitrate is too low, and it looks bad. And some guy had left a Starbucks cup on the counter. Atomic Heart 2 and The Cube.
The Cube!
Atomic Heart 2 is what you expect. It's cut to Queen music for the trailer. It's more Atomic Heart with more money and events. The Cube is the mystery. What is in The Cube?
Also, I didn't hear Crispy Critters once, and I'm kind of sad.
That's because it's going to be the hypest moment of the intro. This thing is going to be the Doom 2016 of game intros. But he's the pinnacle moment. The peak moment is when he's going to smash a TV and goes, crispy goddamn critters. And then it's going to smash cut to the logo.
Or they got insecure because too many people dogged on it and they won't have it at all.
Oh, no, don't do that.
No, be based and bring up an ancient cereal.
That game looks way too big. Like, there's no way it's as big as it looks.
Oh, it is a
Yeah,
fucking
that-
linear sequence game that's like Bioshock Hyper on rails. I'm
Right?
so excited.
It has to be. And every time we see an opener space, it's like, No.
It's the idea of that space.
Right.
You're supposed
Yeah,
to get
and then your
excited.
flying car crashes back into the hallway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the game. I'm so excited. Marvel Cosmic Invasion is a game I'm being subjected to this summer via these events. They're adding She-Hulk and Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, it looks neat. That's probably going to be a solid beat 'em up.
Onimusha Way of the Sword was shown, and Sasaki is here. Whoa.
Whoa.
It is not Sasaki Kojiro. It is Sasaki Ganyu, I think. And Ganyu Island is where their duel happened, I believe.
Yeah.
That game continues to look cool as shit.
Yeah, no, that looked really great. And you're in some weird different universe in that trailer. I don't know what the deal is.
You're in the dimensional rift town where
Right.
islands floating in the sky and things being torn apart. There was a puppet. What's up?
Right. I think that they put Kojiro in an earlier Onimusha, so they wouldn't have been able to reuse him properly. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't
Someone
think
should check it out.
so. I don't think so. Because I think because Nobunaga, because it's around Nobunaga and stuff, and Miyamoto was before him.
People are saying
Musashi
Kojiro
was
was an
before
Oni
him.
in the anime, right?
Yeah, he was in that anime.
No, this is all after the Nobunaga stuff. Because Nobunaga is before Musashi. I'm
So
pretty sure.
But he was a character in that anime, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I asked the question, then you said no. And
Okay,
then,
I
then you were
don't-
responding to him. Okay.
I don't remember. It would have to. I guess it would have because he's not in 1, 2, or 3, so he'd have to be in Dawn of Souls, and I never played that one.
Felt that boxing is a puppet punch out.
Yeah.
It looks nuts.
Yep.
It is
Wild.
one of those things. It's like, how is this rendered in real time? Sort of thing. Like, man, you nailed that look.
Mm-hmm. It's fantastic. I like that. At some point, you're fighting a dude called the Butcher. He's giant, and he has knives in his fucking gloves turned upward to stab you with. Also, there was the whole fucking orphanage with the kids being like, "Save us! Don't let us die!" Yes. Stellar trailer. Killer Inn is a social deduction game that looks similar to that one Sony was publishing, and people tell me the Sony published thing came out, and I do not believe you even still, and I will not look this up. Arc Raiders is a video game.
It's the most anticipated game of the year. Jeff Keighley told me.
I think he was the most anticipated shooter, or was that a different one?
I think it probably was shooter. He did
Okay.
specify to at least some degree.
October 30th for Arc Raiders. Again, Arc Raiders, the exact type of game where I'm going to let someone else play it on Twitch, and I'm going to watch them long enough to figure out what the fuck it is. Then they showed the world's longest Dune Awakening trailer.
Cut back to the sand sculptures.
That shit comes out in 4 days.
Oh, thank God. We can finally stop seeing it at these events. Or can we? Will there be even more Doom Awakening DLC for the foreseeable future?
Out of Words is a stop motion co-op game where your two main characters have no mouth, like that scene in The Matrix, as Bob pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really cool. There's gravity flipping mechanics. Seems neat.
Can't wait to bring this game up every time someone mixes up the titles of Outer Wilds and Outer Worlds.
But what about Out of This World and Out of
Ooh.
Words? We could just keep piling them on, baby. Mafia: The Old Country was shown. It's just a CG trailer.
Yeah,
Like it's a cutscene trailer.
that was so weird after the trailer we saw like a few weeks ago where
Yeah.
they actually showed the game a lot.
And again, that game is $50 and just seems to be an Uncharted like.
yeah.
I'm so like, hell yes, let's keep trying this.
Mm-hmm.
100%. Lego Voyagers. Anyone? Was that the one where
That's the one where you're the
two Lego
tiny little
pieces?
block, and I think it has the
It's made by Lightbox
Joseph
Studios or whatever.
Ferris. Yeah, but it has the Joseph Ferris pass.
Yeah, whatever
Where
they
you
call
don't
that.
need one copy.
Yeah, what did they call that? Friend pass or something? Where you buy one copy and your friend can play for free.
Right. And it is
yeah,
a co-op all
it's-
the way through the game, like forced. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a puzzle game, so you'll probably want to kill each other.
Yeah, but what was it? I was like, Bob, why are you so upset by this trailer? It just looks like Super Mario 3D World combined with Portal 2 co-op.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny.
Terrible. Terrible trailer.
Yeah, no, awful.
They brought
Probably the worst they could have
Sandy-
made.
Yeah, what's the point? What's the point to not show anybody but SpongeBob?
They brought Sandy, the voice actress for Sandy
Uh-huh.
from SpongeBob, on stage to show this, and then didn't show it. They didn't show the game. Basically, they were like, "Here's 4 seconds of gameplay. Okay, we're done. Shut it down."
Yeah, I don't understand how that happened.
Fucking nuts. Liza P. Overture's out now.
Cool.
Dope.
Fractured Bloom was described as, and this was the DM that Jeff received, Doki Doki Literature Club plus Silent Hill.
I read this as fractured butthole. I hate you, South Park.
This is why people have marketing departments.
Yeah, it's true. But hey, somehow it worked. Mina the Hollower is out on Halloween.
Awesome.
Halloween.
Finally.
Hallower.
When was the estimated
Yeah,
date on
1 year
on
ago, I
Kickstarter?
hope. Deadpool gets a VR game where Neil Patrick Harris is Deadpool. What the fuck is going on?
God.
That's so upsetting.
Yeah, it is. Why'd they do this?
Because they know it's upsetting. Oh yeah, also Media the Hollower has a demo. It's out now.
Oh, nice. Right. I forgot.
Yeah, progress does carry over, but it's only on PC.
That Deadpool VR game is Quest only. It's another big Quest exclusive comic book game.
They're definitely running out of those in the tank. I have to say.
100%. They're just like we are finishing up spending any money on this VR shit.
Uh-huh. It's all going to be shut down.
I'm not really excited over the notion of this. The Batman thing was neat. I'm okay with the Batman thing. I don't think this will be as good as the Batman thing last year. But who knows? Won't know till we try it. And then me and Bob could do the spoiler cast with the fewest views ever.
Yes.
Dying Light: The Beast is out August 22nd. Then they showed Mixtape. Anyone?
I don't know.
Spider-Verse style nostalgia for a childhood nobody making it or playing it had.
Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree. It's an action roguelike with a cinematic trailer.
It was kind of anime looking.
Yeah.
Is that thing?
Acts as an act of blood. It's a Sifu like made by one dude in Indonesia or one person in Indonesia. I don't know. I'm interested.
Might be okay.
I want more action
Yeah.
games that are like less locked down. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it's like. Did they announce a date for that? I thought that was like, I don't know. Scott Pilgrim EX. You remember that Scott Pilgrim game? It's more of that Scott Pilgrim game. It's made by the people who made that Scott Pilgrim game. It even has the artist from that Scott Pilgrim game. It looks like that Scott Pilgrim game. You can team up with 5 other people that are former exes, I think they implied, or rivals
Right.
was the word they use, I believe. So you can play as Scott, Ramona, and 5 other former rivals, I believe was what they said on stage. Seems like it's got a big scope. Seems pretty ambitious.
Yeah, I'm curious what the actual structure for that's going to be.
Yeah.
Because they talked about different gangs and stuff.
Oh, and they got Brian
Probably
Lee
literally
O'Malley.
be River City Ransom.
They got Brian Lee O'Malley to write it, so it's more canon, seemingly Scott Pilgrim stuff. So there you go.
After playing a lot of the River City Girls 1 and 2, I'm like, maybe this isn't a good structure for a beat 'em up. Maybe just a beat 'em up.
Yeah, but those were made by Way Forward.
I know. So
Oh, sick Way Forward burn. What year is it? Is this
I don't
about-
know. I kind of like those weird RPG beat 'em ups like the River City Ransoms and such.
I don't know.
I even
why.
liked River City Ransom Underground.
I was like, well, I don't know why I never gave those a chance. Oh, right. Streets of Rage 4 landed right on top of 1 and then 2 ran
Yeah,
wrong.
it sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why that happened. Shit.
I played all of them and were happy with them in different ways. But I'll never buy River City Girls 2 because you didn't make Mommy and Hasebe playable. Think about what you did.
You're
Banished.
grounded.
Yeah, the writing in 1 seemed funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't like that one of the Dragon brothers, one of the Lee brothers was voiced by Egoraptor, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're
that's-
both Game Grumps. That's the joke. They're both the Game Grumps.
Oh, okay, so they got John.
I fucking forgot that he originally was on that channel.
Yeah, he founded Game Grumps, and then he went, yo,
That was
I gotta
over
go.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That was it was a little while ago.
Then they had him come out, and he was wearing the hat.
Hey, everybody! Hey, I'm Grump! Entire room silent. No, you're supposed to say, I'm not so... Come on. Then he just leaves. Mads Mikkelsen is going to be his James Bond villain that he was in a Hitman mission that's like out now. And they were like, guess what? You won't believe this. It's out now. He's standing right in front of the sign that says June 6th to July whatever. I'm like, does he not know what's behind him?
They hyped this up so much of like, oh, this amazing James Bond classic villain. It's like, is a fan of James Bond? No. Sorry. You aren't one of the cheesy James Bond villains. That's a classic and amazing.
I mean, he was great. Here's the conundrum. He was great in that movie.
Yes.
Mads Mikkelsen is great.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel the same. Yeah, I'm like,
I'd never be like he's a James, but he's a notable James Bond villain. It's like, not really. Can he capture Agent 47 and abuse his balls?
Yeah, it was like what was that guy's villain's name again? Ball Scratcher? They made Mario Party for Lego and called it Lego Party.
Dope.
Yeah.
It was kind of brain dead, but sure.
Synopsis is over. I nailed it. Wildgate.
That was pretty cool.
That was the outer space sci-fi shooter where you board each other's ships, and it was like five players per ship, right? And you just invade the other ones and
Like,
try to blow them up. That's awesome.
That's
It's
this
the fun
kind of
Battlefield.
shooter I've been wanting for years.
So yeah, no, that actually seems really fucking hype. The funny thing is when they said Wildgate, I'm like, isn't it Stormgate? Isn't this the StarCraft?
Is it not Gate?
I was thinking
It's-
WildStar.
Yeah, WildStar
were
and
all-
Stormgate is the StarCraft thing.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's just
Man,
close enough to
Stormgate.
too many
Hopefully,
things.
Stormgate goes better than WildStar did.
It feels like it might WildStar, honestly.
I don't think it's hard to get worse than WildStar, where it's like our game does not have a way to roll back a patch in it. So when we pushed
right.
out something fucked,
It was fucked. Period. Forever. Period. Good point in chat. Stormgate will absolutely be at the PC game.
If it's not, then it's going to be disappearing. Like that shit game shutting down, never being heard from again.
Just, day 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blighted. Chris, you wrote this. I'm letting you read this.
the Guacamole devs made a Zelda game.
The next game looks like the Roman numeral 3, basically, because I hate fonts. It is ill. A first-person horror that is, quote, one of those. What is one of those? What is this description? What is one of those? One moment.
That's a first-person horror game.
Yeah, it's like Pig Machine, that thing.
It's just like a recursive sentence and not classism
implied,
or something.
Right? Like, that's what it reads like.
I mean,
it's one of those.
It's one of those.
I mean, that is certainly the feeling when I see one of them.
This is made by the same people. It is Atomic Heart, right?
It is published by them because they opened a publishing arm.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Mecha Break was shown again. It was an all CG trailer that still has really cool mech designs. I would have preferred
It comes out July
gameplay.
1st, I think.
Cool.
Well, it had a beta already, Dan. You can go watch as much gameplay as you want.
I guess you're right. Infinitesimals is Ants the game.
Infestimals, I
Yeah,
believe.
it's Ants the game. I think it's infinitesimals.
No,
Isn't it like
infinitesimal. It's a word. But
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like infestation, but animals.
No, because infinitesimal means very small.
That's the
Okay, yeah.
PSP camera game where they put a pet on the camera near you, but it's rotting and evil.
No!
It's an infestival.
Man,
Holy shit.
I don't
it
wanna
feels
buy
wrong.
this Connect
It
game.
feels wrong. It feels wrong that we've never done a cursed content on ants.
I remember liking it as a kid.
It's so cursed.
It probably is.
Street Fighter 6 Season 3 with DLC roadmap was announced via that
Kenny
one guy.
Omega doing
Thank you.
cosplay.
Kenny Omega doing cosplay, freaking out, looking in mirrors. It was absolutely hilarious.
This guy's been joking about Sea Viper being in a game since the first time Capcom let him on a stream.
Awesome. I
know
really
nothing about him other than that, basically.
I'm so happy for him. They announced Alex. Awesome.
Yes.
Sea Viper. Cool. Ingrid.
Yeah, she needs another shot.
I'm
I feel.
happy.
And Sagat. And they all got
Gotta have
redesigned. Sagat seems to be the first one coming out.
Oh, I guess Lead was the least exciting one, sure.
That's the only one they showed gameplay of, so that's I assume he's first.
Yeah.
I promised that I would come back if they put Alex in, so I gotta come back. I love Alex.
Yeah, I think this is a really good set of characters. I again have to do yet another year of Street Fighter 6 without Sakura or Makoto. But I'll deal with it because this is actually a good set of characters.
Yeah, this is a good set of characters.
Yeah.
This is real solid.
The only one I'm disappointed in is Sagat, just because we have every Street Fighter crew character.
But he's so
please.
big.
I know,
He's so
Sagat's
big.
great. I
He's
don't dislike
so
Sagat
big.
even. Like, I'm just
He does the
so
tiger
Street Fighter
kick.
2'd out.
Everyone loves it. You all love the tiger kick. Last Flag seems to be Team Fortress 3, but made by an indie studio.
And seemingly very capture the flag focused, which
Makes sense what it's Last Flag.
right?
Yeah. Seems to be. Wu Chong or Wu Chang, not sure. Fallen Feathers. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, let's see.
It looks neat. Every time I see a Souls game that looks neat, part of me dies.
I'm gonna try it, and I'm hoping it's not as Souls game as it totes itself as.
They announced a Wu-Tang game. Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver.
What a name!
Presented by Ghostface Killer.
What they say? It's like he's telling you to go save the other members of the Wu-Tang. They've all been captured. I fucking lost it. I was like, this is great.
Incredible.
Now this is a $70 video game.
Into the Unwell. I don't understand this description. What is that what they said? That was what they said, wasn't it? Rubber Hose 3D action roguelike? What is Rubber Hose?
Yeah, what is this?
What does that mean?
Rubber Hose is that style of that era of animation where their limbs are all wobbly.
Oh, yeah, they even said that. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? I didn't even know that was the name of that style. I just know that style. Huh.
What is? I don't
Kind of
remember.
like Cuphead.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Got it.
Yeah.
It looked like a Ralph Bakshi movie.
Uh-huh. Yeah, this one did for sure. You expected the weird cartoon dude to look to the right, and there's just rotoscoped a horse and a guy on it.
Yeah. No, there's that weird, like, creepy sexual energy to it that you expect from one of those.
Stranger Than, and I argue they put a symbol next to the than to space out the logo. We should just call it Than. So Stranger Than Heaven. That's a Project Century. You remember the RGG studio thing? It's that. Yeah, there are 2 time periods. There might be supernatural powers because the guy has the eye glows. That looked cool as hell.
I think they were just pointing out that he has blue eyes. Do his eyes glow?
His eyes were very bright.
he's literally like, I don't know what I am.
Yeah, so between those two things, I'm not.
I think that might have been a racial thing.
It might have been.
It might have been.
That's the
There
energy-
was a
that's
little
what I
bit of
got
racial
from it.
things in it. We even made the joke of like, Jeff's like, well, the trailer said it, so I can't do. And we're like, no, Jeff. I'm gonna save that other thing for last. I'm gonna go to the next 2. Scum. Story-driven survival game with epic bacon atmosphere is what I'm reading off of this document.
Yeah. Maybe you'll get 50 million players on Twitch. I don't know.
Who knows? We don't. Resident Evil 9
It's in early
Requiem.
access already and seemingly successful.
Okay.
Resident Evil 9 Requiem, where the Q in Requiem, they were like, it's like a 9, RE9, get it? And I just started cackling. It's going to be taking place in Raccoon City, seemingly.
But
After
a
the
nuke
nuke.
Raccoon City.
Yeah, after the nuke. That's fucking awesome. I didn't realize how much I wanted that until they showed it.
That is a really neat idea.
It is a really fucking cool idea. It's supposed to be revolutionary visually and story-wise. You're the daughter of the character from Outbreak 1 and 2.
There's a...
Uh-huh.
Oh, right. You do choose characters, but I guess just one of them are random because none of them have stories, really. They're just all the four characters you can play as.
They're tiny stories.
Yeah, one of them's they have that same surname, and I think something confirmed it. Like, yeah, they're the daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, isn't that nuts?
That's nuts because I did play the first one of those.
We're gonna have to figure out how to do an online thing and just play through it on stream.
I guess.
Just fans have made servers that is possible.
I wonder if it's going to be first person or not, because they showed a lot of first person shots in that, but that just might be look how good it looks.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. They showed nothing but first person shots moving around places and nothing third person-y on a person. So
Right.
as of yet, we don't have anything to confirm third person. And given the tone of it, I honestly think it might be the third for first person Resident Evil. Like we're going back to that.
My bet, this new girl is first person. And there's also Leon S. Kennedy.
He's 60 years old, but he's still kicking ass.
Yes.
He just rolls up like old Snake in a bomber jacket.
Hell yes.
It's just for some reason that has made him only more ripped.
He looks like
he's
Chris.
old man Logan.
He looks like Bison in Street Fighter 6.
Ooh, that's terrifying.
Yes.
Split 2 was shown. They announced a Battle Royale mode, and the man who came out on stage to talk about it had a Make FPS Great Again hat.
What a dumbass. What a moron.
No.
Yup.
Everybody at that studio is going to want you dead, man, because you just fucking slashed the throat of that game.
Tone deaf cringe lord loser at best.
Yeah. Yeah.
And frankly, I don't
probably
think that
worse.
well of Jeff for letting him on stage either.
Yeah, no, he walked by too many adults wearing that fucking hat.
Yeah, there was a fucking, what's the term, an AD, an assistant director behind the stage, who could have told him, take that fucking hat off.
Yeah, I cannot believe that hat could pass. Like any over chat.
Unless we find out he was hiding it until just before he came on stage. And the kind of person who would wear that hat would do that.
Oh, absolutely.
And that was it for the Summer Game Fest. Then we had the Devolver Digital Direct. Yo, they made a breakout game with like a town building element and RPG mechanics, and it's called Ball Pit. Ball space X space pit. And that was the whole direct. A rather distended, pretty lame display of that. And holy shit, that sucks. Even though that game is for me.
Yeah, that game looks cool.
That game is literally what I keep asking for.
So about the industry having to be turned off and then turned back on.
Yeah, the Jeff shows are always weirdly the worst part of summer gaming events.
Usually they're better than this.
Yes, this is like the lowest I feel like they've ever been.
So I'm really excited for the Wholesome Direct and the PC Gaming Showcase. It won't have the vibes of any of what happened today.
Yeah.
I'm even excited for Microsoft. They usually have good shows.
Yes.
It's everything else about them that's bad.
Are you ready?
To confirm whether or not she's pregnant? What? We were talking about the PC Gaming Show, right?
I was going to say for the Wholesome Direct to have someone in a Make Farming Games Great Again hat.
This isn't fair. We both just shot each other to death for no reason.
No, there was a reason. People online were satisfied by our pain.
God damn it. Anyways, that's it. That's it. That's all the news. We will, of course, be live again less than 12 hours from now.
Yeah.
We are ending this show. For the people who don't know what shows are on what days, now a reminder, this is a what shows are on what days. We are not promising we will watch all of this comprehensively. I am just making you aware of what we will most likely be live for. There's the Wholesome Direct tomorrow at the beginning of it, then the woman-led games along with, or women-led games. Woman,
Yeah, all
just
by
the
one woman.
She's a real girl boss. She girl bosses all these studios because she's the boss of them. Latin American Game Showcase, Southeast Asian Games Showcase, Green Games, and Frosty Games Fest. What is the deal with Frosty Games Fest?
That is the one that's for Australian and New Zealand games.
right, because it's winter there,
right?
Not summer, and they're just bragging about it. They're like, we're actually cooler now than we are usually, and I'm like, fuck you. But that's it. First of all, we're recession now. Just one woman. That's all the industry can afford. And then on Sunday, we're going to be live with the Xbox Game Showcase at noon Central Daylight Time, a little bit earlier, actually. Then the PC Gaming Show. And there's a Death Stranding 2 showcase.
There is a Death Stranding 2 showcase.
I don't know if I want to watch that. I'd rather do
that.
this fucking wild thing and play the game that comes out in a few days.
Like 2 weeks at most.
Yeah, fuck that. So, we hope you're all looking forward to it. Because we are going to be live a lot. Yeah. And we're going to be talking about stuff. And hey, I think tonight's the first time I get to just do whatever I want with my Switch with no insane time schedule bearing down on me.
Mm-hmm.
I will probably not sleep 8 hours before tomorrow, regardless of what I do from this point on. But that's going to be it for this big thing to mention. Thank you all for watching. Whoop. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Big Thing to Mention. Big Thing to Mention is possible because of you and your support over at patreon.com/gbpodcast, where you can support us and get access to the hit indie film Isolation 119. That's right, it's a hit in my heart, which is the only thing that matters. Also, there's Gamer Premonitions extras and Armchair Devs extras for the Summer Game Fest. You should definitely check those out. Young Keely will come for you if you don't. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast.